Welcome, 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 everyone. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast lineup for you this morning. Great broadcast lineup for you this morning. That we are high and a happy, elephant elated, and porcupine proud that you're here with us. We're going to kick this thing right on off. But before we kick it off, I want to say good morning to Captain Leonard. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Good morning there, Raheem. How are you?
Man, what kind of backdrop you got there?
It's the world.
Okay. You got the whole
No,
world
no.
in his hands. He's got the whole. Oh, that ain't the way. Frank Logan.
What's happening, man?
What's going on with you?
Man, everything's wonderful. How's everybody?
Hey, everybody's doing good, man. What it is, man. Leonard trying to shut my singing down early this morning. Trying to shut Look at I'm sitting. I'm in this perfect mood. This great move this morning, and he trying to shut down my doggone.
I thought you was finished. I
got a little bit more. Hold on.
I want to hear singing. I want to hear singing.
Don't do that, Anna.
See, Anna. I appreciate you. Anna said she want to hear some singing this morning, and I got to be the one to bring the sing. Hold on, Frank Logan, go ahead and sing, brother. Go ahead, brother.
Oh, I'll sing now.
Don't do it. That's all right. I was just playing. I was just playing.
Ain't no shame in my game.
He said, "Ain't no shame in my game."
Look, I was just playing, brother. Don't sing. It's okay. It's all right.
You can't shame me.
We look here. We did not mean it. We did not mean it.
That's all right. Be careful what you ask for.
Anna Quinones, how you doing this morning?
I'm good. I've been sitting here at this chair for like 30 minutes, and for some reason, I guess my internet is bad. I didn't get the signal till now, or till the stream till now, the stream alert. So I've been sitting here like a fool, and it just came out of nowhere. So I was like, they're really late. I'm about to send a message, and
Look at God. Look at God. Look at God.
So yeah, but it's okay. Things happen.
Oh yeah. No, we had a little issue over here in the building this morning. Had an issue this morning in the building, and so I had to work through that before I got on the broadcast. The alarm system went off this morning. It wouldn't take my code for some reason. Yeah, and so I had to work around that and make a few phone calls, and so that kind of kicked us back a little. I was just telling Frank about that. Yeah, I put the code in 3 times, and the third time, excuse me, it just wouldn't take it. And then after the third time, the alarm went off, and I turned, and then I put the code back in one more time, and everything just shut down. I said, "Oh, okay, that's weird." So I reached out to the fella that's over the building, let him know what was going on, but everything worked out. Okay.
So they normally reset the codes on their own every so often, right? So that it's a new code.
I guess. I don't know what happened this morning, because like I said, it's never done before. And I was looking out to see where the police coming or something, and nobody came out. And so, that's a good thing. But yeah, there was a little issue this morning. It's okay though. It's all good. But listen, anyway, we got excuse me, y'all. Maybe I need to drink something. But we got a topic. Leonard, cut it out, man. What that Leonard something, man. Leonard, you talking about?
I can't laugh.
That's my buddy. Leonard's my buddy.
I laugh sometimes, man.
Sometimes I laugh for TV. Sometimes I laugh to stop, so I ain't gotta cry. Or sometimes I laugh so I ain't gotta kill somebody. You know how it is, Leonard. Sometimes you gotta laugh just so you ain't gotta kill somebody. Is that Christy?
That's the wonderful Christy.
Christy, that you?
Yes, it's me. Good morning.
This girl, she wake up every morning. Leonard, she wake up every morning.
Raheem.
I'm happy. Come along.
That is a beautiful thing right there.
Raheem, guess what? I text you and said, you know what? Because I knew what the topic was. I say, Raheem, did you fire me?
No, that's what I'm saying. Okay, let's get to the top. Let's get everybody. Hey, Christy. Say hello. Say hello to everybody. I'm gonna give you a chance to get it out your system. Say hello to everybody.
Hey, Cool Leonard with the earth as a heart. Hey, beautiful Anna. And hey, everybody online. I don't know who I was online, but I think Frank is online.
Frank is online.
I think I heard Frank too. Hi, Frank. Good morning. I didn't say good morning. That was rude of me.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Okay, now,
Are you feeling extra special today?
okay, and now, see, we didn't want you to go into no long conversation. Just wanted you to say hello, Christy. That's all we wanted you to do. And
Christy should charge people just to call and say them good morning. To tell them
Yeah,
good
you
morning.
should. It wakes
You
people
know,
up and gets them in a good mood.
Yes.
yeah, I
I
have
was-
to get. I have to get in mine first.
let's jump into this topic, man. We're gonna jump into this topic because I think it's gonna be a lot of different things, and it might stir up some stuff in some people, and might make a little anger show up, or love and all kind of things. But I want to ask the question though. Your president has been in office going on 4 years now, and a lot of things has happened in the course of his presidency. So my question is this: what is the Trump, or what has the Trump effect been on America? What has the Trump effect been on America? And what has the Trump effect done to America?
So when you ask that, there's many ways that can be answered. So are you saying like the effect of everything he's done, or
Yeah.
before or as he was going into election?
Has he been in office, during the time he's been in office? How has that? What kind of effect has he had on America? Who
Well,
he is?
Go ahead.
What is the Trump effect? The Trump effect is just what has he done? What has he caused? How have people reacted? What is the Trump effect?
Okay. This is a whole 3 days worth of shows. Okay. So we'll begin with saying this. Racism. He's divided what our country really stands for, which is immigration, right? Something that really upsets me, and you guys know how clear I stand on that. These our children being taken away, sex slaves. I don't care what anybody says. That's what they're being used for, sex slaves. Then you have when I say racism, you have a divided country. Now you have some people that totally gone against one side and totally gone, and it's just so blatant. Like I've never ever thought there was so many racist people. I mean, and against brown and black, because I mean I've seen videos about brown and black, as I've seen,
And let me ask you this question: Is that Trump, or is that the Trump effect, or is just people just revealing exactly who they are or who they were the whole time?
If it wasn't for him doing what he was doing, I don't think that they would have revealed it. I think they would have still been afraid. Just my opinion. I think they would have still been afraid. But on the other hand, I think if us
is it better that they revealed it, or would it have been better if they just kept it covered up and we just do life as usual?
Oh no, I like honesty, so I'm glad that they did, because they're all off my social media. Each and every one of them. I don't care if they were family; they're off my social media. I don't care to deal with people like that. You can call me pro-black, whatever you want to call me, whatever I've been called. I don't care. I will stick by the right thing. I always tell myself, and I think Leonard was talking about it, or Kurt, it might have been Frank, what would Jesus do? I always put myself in those shoes. And even if you're constantly, the Bible also tells you not to constantly be putting up, even if you've forgiven somebody, be putting up with something, kind of pull away from it. So that's what I've done. And I've just told them, I choose to not live the lifestyle that you live, or I've just blatantly taken them off. And I learned this actually from my Wind Up Wednesday girl, who told me, why are you even stressing yourself out about it? Just take them off. And so I learned that, and you know what? It made life a lot less stressful. With that being said, it's taught. I don't know. Some people, this is up in the air. Some people are all for charter schools. Others are more for public schools. I believe in charter schools only because I believe in smaller school settings. I think that he's done was great. The way he has treated Puerto Ricans as second-class citizens, that gets underneath my skin so bad. That country has been through a lot, and I'm sure that there's a lot. I don't know if anybody saw what I just posted. I think it was yesterday or the day before. They just sent a few federal prisoners, I believe, 4 of them. They had COVID. So he's sending COVID back to the island. As hard as that governor, because she's the one that set the example for the whole nation of what to do to make sure that there's no COVID. There's a spike there all of a sudden. So why would you send these people to Puerto Rico, who is, part of the United States? Why not keep them out here and do whatever you're doing in whatever prison they were in, federal prison? See what I'm saying?
Exactly. Let me go to Frank. Frank, what did you say? What is the Trump effect on America? Frank?
Well, as far as racism goes, I think the fact that somebody was placed in the White House that was so unprepared and so immature that he could not hide racism, and I think that was a good thing, because all of the laws that were being passed and the way people were being put in the way that people were being placed in positions like the Supreme Court and everything else. If we paid attention to what has gone on in the last 3 years, that was a good thing going on forever, because all of the laws that were being.
I'm sorry about that. Go ahead.
So I think that's good that we were able to see that, but I'm one of those people that I don't think that knowledge is power. It's what you do with the knowledge that you obtain once you get it. So if we see what just took place and we don't do anything about it, then shame on us. The one thing that I do hate is that I believe that COVID-19 and everything was part of chemical warfare. I believe that when they placed him in the position that they placed him in, that they knew that this was coming down the pipes. So I really feel bad for all of the people that died. And honestly, when his administration comes out of office, they need to be charged almost like a war crime, because what they did of abolishing the different departments that would have prepared the United States for COVID-19, and the things that they're having rallies and telling people not to wear masks, and all the things that they've done to perpetuate people dying. They need to be charged for that, and people not only need to go to jail, but the people, his whole administration, need to come. The charges need to be brought against them. So it's been tragic, man. It's been very tragic. But as far as racism, one thing that Will Smith said that is so true: police aren't killing any more people. It's just being recorded. Racism isn't heightened. It's just now we're seeing it. And, I said something about, the perfect storm. When we were forced to stay home and watch what was going on, that made it worse.
Okay. Now, you and Anna had said something about racism and what he has done to stir it up. Leonard, did he really do anything to stir it up, or was it just the heart of the individuals that was already there?
Well, that was the heart of the individuals already there. They was just waiting on somebody to support that narrative, as usual. And so, we have to understand that. I think what it does is it reminds us of how important democracy really is. If you do not participate, it will go to hell. Plain and simple as that. And so now we see what happens when good people sit back and allow filthy individuals to take control of government. And so now I hope people are more committed to civic responsibility, more so than anything. America, that's how America is supposed to work. But for so long, people have been just, I guess this is not a priority to them. But one thing we have found out, complaining is a priority to a lot of people.
Oh, yeah.
You can't sit around all day. What are y'all going to do? What are you going to do? It makes no sense to sit around and wish that people who have never cared for you have your best interest in mind.
Mm-hmm.
That makes no sense to me. And I'll go to my grave wondering what is wrong with these people, especially black people.
Mm-hmm.
How long did it take for you to become so ignorant that you don't know how to play this game anymore? That you don't know you need to take your butt to the polls to vote?
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't. It's what, since the late 60s?
Mm-hmm. Come on.
Come on, man. I mean, our folks were dying for this. We just had some good men die here recently
Mm-hmm.
who have a history of fighting for what we should be doing right now.
Yeah.
It's almost as if their fight was in vain when it comes to some of these people. And all you people that we need reparations. You can't get reparations without voting in government.
Leonard, and you said something there, and my question is this: who's going? And we have lost a lot of great men the last couple of days. We've lost a lot. But who's gonna stand in the gap, man? Who's gonna stand in the gap and make a difference?
Well, there's a lot of great people. Let's hope Miss Nakima stands in that gap left by John, our brother John Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
Nakima Williams, who was appointed to
Mm-hmm.
do so, an activist in her own right, who has already been arrested for protesting as well, and things of that nature, very much entrenched in that machine that is the Democratic Party here in the state of Georgia. And we definitely know what we need to do to be a part of a progressive agenda.
Mm-hmm.
I see
That's good.
signs of these folks. You know, I live right here in Covington, and I see the folks were arm in arm down there, I guess, around a statue or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of older white people or what have you. Folks, understand these old white racists are going to be dead soon. Let's help them.
Mm-hmm. Leonard, Lord, my Jesus. Hey, you see?
Wait,
Man, we
okay.
already know I don't pray for my enemies. That's one
Mhm.
problem I have with Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've read it over and over and over, and I'm waiting for revelation on why should I pray for someone who wants to kill me. That makes no sense to me.
Chrissy, and that's a whole nother show, Leonard. That show would take about 4 or 5 probably days.
David would never have done it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. You might have a point there, Christy. What's on your heart? What is the Trump effect? What is the Trump effect on America?
I think his effect was really, like everyone has said, really just to bring out people honest feelings about people. You know, whether you black or white, brown, green, whatever color you are. And really, if you really think about it, it's not only that effect of racism, but he brought amount of greed. And that sense of greed was already there as well. It's just like he didn't bring anything new. He just brought it all to the forefront. All the things that were hidden, the greed, the money laundering, the plans, you know, how, you know, people get other nations involved in elections, you know, how they trick and play elections. All that was kind of hidden. Trump is that child, you know, if you have a set of kids and you have all of them slick and don't never get caught, but you have that one that always get caught. They can't tell a lie for nothing. If you get him, if you can get that child, he or she would tell it on everybody. And then everybody gonna get in trouble. So Trump is that child that's getting everybody in trouble because he's bringing so much to the forefront that, you know, he's not hiding his hand. It's like, so I think his effect on America is really brought us out of the fantasy land that we lived in. And some people had the ostrich syndrome where they had their head buried in the sand, and some still do have that ostrich tendencies. So he's just brought a lot to the forefront. I mean, I don't think he himself did anything because he's not that great of a person to do anything. He's just a person to bring light to a lot of things.
Frank, why do you think so many people are turning a blind eye to some of the things that Trump is doing?
Did you say why so many people are turning a blind eye?
Yes.
It's not. In my opinion, Raheem, I don't really think that they're turning a blind eye.
Mm-hmm.
I think that as a society, we're just lazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You know, if it doesn't affect my cable, my ability to go out to dinner, my new car, we don't care really.
He's so
You know,
right.
we can act like we care, but we really don't care. We care about things that have no value at all. Nothing. Really don't mean nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But you let these satellites go out and everybody's cell phones go down. Oh, people will be outraged. But you watch today is Tuesday. In the last 4 days, 3 young men have been murdered, either here in Michigan or Saginaw, in the surrounding areas, that were high school students that were headed to college. There was just stray bullets. Just stray bullets.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? We will see this happen, and we will see it happen. And you know, it's so sad because we just won't do nothing about it. Well, we will begin to get mad when we start talking about things in the community have to change. They have to change. We got to stop killing each other. And people, why you bring that up? Because it's true. It is true. It has to stop. But let me not go off on that. But you asked me a specific question. Why do we turn a blind eye? I'm gonna tell you right here. We don't care. We really don't care. That's the long and the short of it.
Mm-hmm.
We're lazy, and we don't care. We do not care, and it's sad.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad. And when I say we, I always include me, just so people can digest it. That's not my heart, but it's easier for people to hear that when I include myself. I do care. I do work in my community, but it doesn't. That's going to make it even harder for people to hear it if I begin to talk about what I do. So I always try to include myself, so at least you can listen to me. But we, as a people, we really don't care about each other, man. We just don't.
Mm. Anna, do you agree with that? That we don't, as a whole, and not individually, but as a whole, we don't care, and that's why Trump is able to do the things that he's doing. Can't hear nothing you saying, Anna.
We're talking about Trump and not the killings, right?
Huh?
We're talking about Trump and not the killings, right?
Talking about Trump. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we do care. If we didn't care, I think the numbers were higher. At least I can speak to the state I live in Georgia. We've really been pushing people like Leonard, people like myself, every show. I'm sure Raheem has on, what is it, Real Men Being Men. I'm sure that people have been pushing for people to get up and vote. I think there was a lot of ignorance within our generation. If you don't vote, whether you vote or not, it's not going to make a difference. Because I remember hearing my friends say this, you know, at certain points in my, and, you know, as I would go to different elections. What I would tell myself is, why? You guys got to remember, I come from a military background, so that was very important. To be honest with you guys, most military people are Republicans because they usually give them raises. I think it's no government secret, okay? The Republicans give them raises. That's why they usually vote for them. But I was a little bit surprised because these last 3 elections, my family totally switched from Republican to Democrat. Why? Because first of all, it was very important for them to see a Black president in office. They felt that that was going to change history, right?
Mhm.
And two, there was no way they thought number 45, the commander in chief in office as we speak, was a joke. They're like, there's no way he's going to win, you know. But on the other hand, 2 out of the 5 family members that I have did not go out and vote. So with that being said, I think that's what the problem is, that we're just not getting up and doing it, period.
Christy, what's on your heart?
I have a different opinion. I believe not from Anna, because she's right. I believe we do care. I believe the majority of us care. And I believe the majority of us are kind of trying to figure out kind of like what to do. It's like you can't take a military stance and just go shoot up everybody, Leonard. And no, I'm picking.
I don't remember
I'm
saying
picking. You didn't ever say that.
It's not
No,
true.
but for real. But we have to look at where we are and what's going on in society. And I keep telling people, and I said this before. I say I truly believe, and I'm gonna say this on air, and y'all don't kick me off air. I believe 45 is going to get presidency again. Not because he's going to earn it and not because he's going to get the votes, but because he's going to use trickery and foolery to get back in office just like he did last time. And so, with that being said, we already know who he is and what he is about. So I'm not a military person, but the first way to defeat a foe is to know the enemy, is to know some things about the enemy, and then you'll be able to defeat them. But I really do think that as a people, we care. And you do have those older generation people that do have their head in the sand. Like for instance, like my mom, back when she was young, she used to be a feisty here in Winfield. Like she was an activist in her own right, never claimed to be, but she grew up in the times where there was segregation, and then it came back to where everything was together. And so she had to deal with a lot of racism, and she had and those people her age, those people that went through that, or more or less want to tell young people, hey, y'all need to calm down. If you just take it and then you just use your mind, use your education, you find another way to get over whatever they're dishing out to you. They're more of a, I guess I'm gonna say, peaceful. And I'm more of like, nah, I'm about to let her know what she said that I didn't like. And I'm going to tell her that she can't change me being here. And my mom grabs me every time and say, no, she's or he is not going to get away with that. So I really feel like it's not the fact that they don't care. They're choosing to fight a different way, if that makes sense.
I understand what you're saying. Leonard, what do you say to that? Fight a different way. Christy said they just want to fight a different way, and the way that the young people are doing today, they're not trying to fight a different way. They more up in your face. This is what it is. You're not gonna do it. We're not gonna stand for it. It's over. Like we was talking about Tupac a few days ago. We knocked on the door. We saw the food. You denied us. We knocked on the door again. You saw the food. 10 years later, we ain't knocking on the door no more. These young people ain't knocking
Kicking it open.
These young people are busting their door down in any way they need to, because it's a different fight. Leonard, is that right, wrong, or what do you think about that?
Well, I think first of all, it's definitely happened. That's probably definitely the sentiment of a lot of young people. But I caution young people, what are you going to do at the end? When is the end going to happen? What is your strategy? Your strategy cannot be to just complain. Because if that's it, you've lost. If all you can do is just tear stuff up, you can't win that way. Because the only reason why you're still doing what you're doing is because the real power has not come out and wanted you to cease doing it yet. Because you can't defend yourselves. That's the one part of the strategy that people are not thinking about. What's the defense? What's the defense? When you don't have enough guns, you lose. Especially if you're dealing with an enemy that don't care nothing about killing you. So you have to think about that. You have to think more strategically. You have to think about winning, not just exploding. So hopefully they will understand the stress this is putting on them and
Then
how.
do you think it's misdirected rage that they have?
Well, rage is rage.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're going through right now, rage and chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And so once you get through rage and chaos, sometimes organization has to manifest itself, which is the reason why a lot of us are trying to organize to change. That's longevity.
Mm-hmm.
That lasts for generation to generation. What you're doing now doesn't. It doesn't. It's over once it's over. If you didn't get nothing, think about all in vain Martin Luther King's life would have been had he not gotten civil rights legislation passed.
Mm-hmm.
That's what made his career what it was.
Yeah.
He won.
Mm-hmm.
They won. We still have yet to really win. My generation should have annihilated racism by now.
Right.
It should almost be unheard of.
Mm-hmm.
Discrimination should almost be unheard of.
Now, if this was a race, and I can, excuse me, y'all, but I don't know how the proper term when they run it and they pass the baton to one person, or relay. I guess it's called a relay.
Mm-hmm.
If this was one of the races and King had the baton and he ran up, did this generation drop the baton as he tried to pass it off? Is that what you're saying to me?
No, I don't say we dropped the baton. It's just simply the fact that one, we were enjoying the win.
Too long.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I mean, think about it, man. The 70s was awesome in America.
Wow. And see, and you took me somewhere there, man, because I remember we had a football coach, man. This was on junior high, middle school, depending on where y'all, what area you're in. And we had a real good team. And we actually, truth of the matter, we went undefeated. We won the city and everything. But when we won 3 or 4 games and we was out there celebrating, coach came on the field and he was angry. We beat the team, and I remember this team. We beat the team, and I was somebody that went to school when we were called in. We beat this team 66-0. We annihilated that team, man. 66-0. We killed them. We on the floor on the field, and we are celebrating. We high fiving each other. We doing all kind of things, man. We having a ball, and coach came out on the field, but got in the middle of us, man, and didn't say nothing at first. I remember this. He didn't say nothing, man, and he just sit there and he was just watching us. And then when everybody realized what was going on, we looked at coach, and because he wasn't celebrating, he wasn't jumping, he wasn't smiling, he wasn't doing nothing. And we looked at him, and coach, he looked at us, man. He said something, man. I've seen it before. After that, but he said, "Act like you've been here before." He said, "Act like you've been here before." And I'm like, "What, coach? We just won. Act like you've been here before. You won. We got a game next week. We can't ride on this. We got another fight next week. We got another team we got to play next week. Act like you've been here before."
Right.
And I think that's pretty much what you're saying, Leonard. We celebrated too long. And then other teams came and annihilated us.
It's like if you neglect something, it's like neglect. If
Mm-hmm.
somebody else picks it up and takes care of it, they're going to own it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much what they did to your existence.
Mm-hmm.
You went from, what other people know about slavery better than us? Every effort should be against that oppression in that machine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We should be coming at that like, I mean, I can't even tell you how much energy needs to be there because it hasn't changed. It hasn't ended.
Mm-hmm.
So there is still a fight. There's a strategic fight that must happen. We must put laws in place. We must get rid of corruption and all these things in order to make it what it should be.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Because everybody has a right to the basics. I mean, if you're going to be a rich nation, you should be able to share with everybody in your nation.
Mm-hmm.
You should look out for the least of these.
Mm-hmm.
And you definitely shouldn't be in courts aiding and abetting evil agendas.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
That part.
678-381-1973. 678-381-1973. The phone lines are open. 678-381-1973. Frank, what's on your heart?
You know, I always say sometimes things are said that we run past and we really don't spend enough time there. But Leonard said something that I really want people to hear. He said, we can't win this war that way. And the one thing, you know, that I learned early on is, for one, you better be careful what battles. You need to pick your battle. And why pick a battle that you know you're going to lose? Now, I'm not saying accept anything. I'm not saying that. But you got to understand, and this is you're talking to a guy right now, man, that watched them shut down Detroit for the 67 riot. Shut it down. Shut it down. You couldn't go off your block. So at the point that it becomes, and there's a difference between protesting something and looting. I'm right here in Detroit. The people that were looting were just thieves. They weren't looting for any other reason but for personal gain. Now, I'm going to say that here in the city of Detroit. The jokers that was running up in the Foot Locker, stealing gym shoes, they weren't trying to make a point. They were just thieves.
That's all.
The jokers that was running up in the Apple, stealing phones, they were just thieves. They seized the moment. And there's a difference, and we always have to separate ourselves from people like that. But you also got to understand, you know, there's people, I've seen it a million times, that'll run up on you and say, man, I'll bust you in your mouth. And you got to think to yourself, you know, and there's been times where, you know, I've looked at people and said, dude, you really don't want to do that. I mean, you really don't want to do that. But you got some fools that will try it anyway. We can't be that fool. You will not win a violent war against people that control the police department, the military, and the government. You don't win that battle. So why even act like you can? You got to do exactly what Leonard says. You have to, and what Christy says, you have to vote. You have to be conscious of what's going on. We have to unite. We have to learn how to communicate together. You know, we got to quit acting like we can do things we can't do. And just like he said, the momentum of the 70s, when jobs were plentiful and money was everywhere, and we had opportunities. Man, here in the city of Detroit, we ran everything. We had a black mayor. We had the chief of police was black. Everything. We ran everything.
Free Kwame. Free Kwame.
Hello?
Yeah, Leonard had a moment, Frank. Go ahead. Leonard had a moment.
What did he say?
Free Kwame.
Yeah, see, we had Kwame. Kwame could have been the next president, man. But what's the old saying? The talent will take you somewhere, the character won't keep you. You know, people telling him he could do whatever it is that he wanted to do. That's a lie. You can't. But we got to use our brains, man. You have to think. You got to think.
When you have people so sick that they will poison your water supply.
Yes.
They got a black man signed that.
Yes.
We have work to do, people. We have serious work to do, and we can't accomplish it being distracted by foolishness.
And then they brought in an emergency manager. It was black.
Black.
It was black. Okay, and that historically, that happened to Malcolm X. That happened to so many different people where you bring black people in who compromise and do these things, man. The governor here is still walking the streets. That cat should be in prison. They poisoned the water. How do you get away with that? But we lose sight of what's going on so easy, and we just keep stepping. And we can't do that. But we got to learn how to quit arguing amongst each other and learn how to follow people that know what they're talking about. We can't. See, the Willie Lynch letter is still getting us. It's still getting us. We still have problems with who we think somebody else said is, well, it's them, they're the problem. No, we're not each other's problems, man. We're not. But guess what? It's not us against white people. See, that's the thing. We got to stop that. We got to quit falling for the banana in the tailpipe. You want to be as great as you can be. That's what you want.
Good deal. Anna, what's on
Can
your
I
heart?
say something?
I'll come right back to you, Christy. Anna, what's on your heart?
Honey, I was just writing. I must agree with something that Christy said earlier. I believe that even if we do go out and vote in masses, there's going to be some type of trick on these upcoming elections. I think it is going to happen. Do you guys, and this was a question to you guys, but I already know the answer. Do you guys really think that it ends with Corona? I mean, do you guys not think that there's going to be something worse out there? People that are actually involved with the medical field, we know better than that. Corona is going to bring other diseases and other stuff around, and I'm sure that Christy will agree with me on that because she knows about that. You know what I'm saying? And on top of it all, yes, Christy said something before that, with the coronavirus, the coronavirus, it's something that's just began there. It's began there to start, whatever it was. It might have been Frank that said, to start a whole array of things. You guys already noticed they're not accepting coins if you go out places, shopping, whatever. You guys notice, and I hate to say this, but the governor here in the state of Georgia, horrendous. How dare you? How dare you turn around and back up everything that this idiot? It's like somebody tagged me on a meme and they were like, Anna, I'm sorry, I had to do it. I thought it was hilarious. It says the governor of Georgia and the governor of Florida. And then it had Dumb and Dumber, like from the movie. I started cracking up. I was like, now that was funny, So the point of the matter is that how can you not even question? And I give a round of applause to Keisha Lance Bottoms for doing the right thing, although she's being sued right now. But with that being said, how can you sit here and not question anything? Because even if Raheem can come to me with something and I don't agree with it, I'm going to question. I'm going to be like, well, what do you think about this? But what, you know what I'm saying? It's just things that you would do. Leonard can tell me something about health. And I'll be like, well, Leonard, I read somewhere that you can't, how can you not question? And I'm just using health just because we've had that conversation. Christy can tell me, Anna, you need to take the coronavirus test because the CDC is saying this, but I'm going to tell her, well, you know what? They're telling you guys this, but I know enough to know that the CDC reports numbers and that's so that can be a negative effect on me and you're not going to put me in the numbers. I'll take care of myself at home unless I get sick enough that I got no choice but to go to the hospital. See what I'm saying? So with that being said, how can people not question what's going on? I'm not saying this would be a conversation with any of y'all, but how do you not question? Because I question everything. I want. Why are you making me wanting to go jump the lake with you? Why do I have to drive and not push on my brakes? You know what I'm saying? So why not question? I don't understand how some of these people are just not questioning, especially the governor in this state. More and more people are dying. How dare you tell people not to wear masks? But I actually look around and it's a Latino. That's why I get so angry. It's a Latino. It's a minority. Latino, Asian, Hindu, Arabic, and Black folks that I'm seeing without the mask. What is wrong with you guys? Do you guys not see people are dying? But you see them white people wearing them or doing things like I saw that nasty video taking off their rights, taking off their bottoms and putting it over the face, talking about they have the right to wear a mask or not. That's disgusting. And especially in the summertime, I just couldn't get over that video. I'm like, that's the grossest thing any woman can do, especially in the summertime. But with that being said, do you guys really think that it ends with Corona? All joking aside, do you guys really think, or do you guys not think, have you guys not read that there's worse things coming from Asia? This is not an attack. This is biblical. God talks about all of this happening. Brace yourselves, embrace yourselves, prepare yourself, and prepare yourself as a Christian of what can go on and how much worse it can get. Because it's going to get worse.
Good deal. Christy, what's on your heart?
It is. I mean, I that's biblical, and that's what Anna is saying is true. This is only the beginning, and I wanted to touch on what Frank said real fast, because I think he may say, like, I think he said something to the effect of, you know, why fight something if you know you're not going to win, kinda, in that form. I might not be saying exactly right, but because they own the police station, they have the judges. But I have a question. What did our forefathers do when they didn't like what was being done? They was being lynched. They were being killed. They were being, you know, even when Martin Luther King and them did the sit-in, they was getting water hose, dogs. So they still owned all the judges then. They still had all the police stations. They still had a power over all these things, yet we still rose. We still put in the protests. You had some that did it violently, some that did not. And on the protest, one thing I'm gonna say about the protest, I don't know. I do know for a fact that everyone that was a part of the protest was not a part of the looting. It was people that were paid to loot. It was people from other organizations. It was white people. It was the people that didn't even have anything to do with the Black Lives Matter movement. It had all different types of people doing things. So to say that every time it was a protest done, our people didn't do all the looting. But that doesn't take away from what the meaning was. Regardless of those, whoever was looting or whatever they was doing, that wasn't the focus. The focus was, hey, this is an unrest. We're tired of our people getting killed for nonsense. And even after the protest, even after the walking, people still got killed. So we're going to have to do more than just sit and talk. We're going to have to do more than just sit and say, okay, we're going to go and vote because
Christy, I think there's a different group of people now, and those individuals were willing to sit there and take the different things that was being done to them, and in order for they looked at the whole pie. They wanted to make sure the whole piece of the pie was fulfilled, if you will. But nowadays, I think we do have a different group of people, and we don't have the individuals that's going to sit back and just let people gas them and throw spraying with water hoses, sick dogs on and stuff. They're gonna fight back, and in that fight, in their fighting back, you got to understand what's gonna be the pushback from that, because a lot of people is going to lose their lives. How many people are really willing to die?
How many people have already died? Senseless.
You're missing my question.
But this is the thing: is dying really an issue? Really, is that really an issue?
That's my whole point. How many people are willing to go to the level where they would die for what they believe in?
And it's not just that. People are dying for what they believe in
right.
now.
Here's the difference.
Okay, we got
Here's the difference
okay.
in what I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
There, and see, here is what we need to practice so that we can move forward. In my statement, what I said is that there was two different groups of people. There were people that were protesting, which is absolutely necessary. And then there were people that were looting. And when I was talking about that, I said in Detroit, and I witnessed this because I was out there are two totally different groups of people. The people that were protesting, it's a very positive thing. And not only was it positive, but it was necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's stop that statement right there. The people that were looting, they weren't focused on the protest or on the cause.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just focusing on stealing. Now, I want to touch on the other point. When I say don't start a fight that you know you can't win, I'm not talking about when there's an injustice, don't do nothing about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I am saying if you see a guy standing there holding a M16, don't pick up a bat and start running towards him screaming, I'm going to kill you. You're putting yourself in a bad position. If there's an injustice, we have to understand that there is a way to win. But you have to, like Leonard said, you have to strategize. And I'm going to say this. The easiest way to defeat someone is to get them to a place of rage. Because now you're not thinking clearly and you're easy to defeat.
Mm-hmm.
So don't hear what I say and twist it. I'm not ever saying don't fight back. That's not even in my nature or in my makeup. But I am saying when you fight, stop, think, strategize, and figure out a way not only to fight, because fighting is not the goal. The goal is justice. It's winning. We have to do what we need to do to win.
Let's stay right there. Now, Frank, you put that out there, so I want to call you on that. How do we win?
Go ahead.
How do we win?
First of all, we have to organize.
Mm-hmm.
We have to be organized. All of these people, and I heard a lot of people that say that we have outside people coming in that are creating a narrative so that the media can portray. The Bible says, "Don't let your good be evil spoken of." We got to deal with them. If you're coming in and you're trying to disrupt what we're doing, you need to be dealt with. So we need to sit down, calm, and say, okay, this person right here makes the most sense, no matter who that person is. And we need to organize, strategize, and then whatever our strategy is, we need to follow that. And then the people that are outside of that, we need to come against that. Because just being all over the place,
and also
we'll be here 50 years from now.
I thought, okay. And that's what we have to really focus on, because one, if you look at it, they're not afraid of you doing what you're doing now. It's not a big deal to them. They don't care what you burn down or any of that stuff. They live for that. Now they can use all these little troops that they spend all this money on to do what it is, to see how that works. Okay, so one, it would make more sense to go after what they're afraid of. They're afraid of you showing up in mass numbers in the polls. They are afraid of you taking the House and the Senate and putting a Democratic president in office. This is what they're fighting against. But you're fighting against something else. That is the flag you need to capture. While we're also spreading out and understanding, because a lot of the previous strategy and the previous agenda was to present this thing more jobs, education, you know what they've been saying for the last 30 years. And one, it makes no sense to continue to use the same things when these things have been accomplished. We have had great jobs. We have had education. We have had these things. We know how to get that. That is easy to do. We can do that with the stroke of a pen. And what we have to focus on now is the objective of seizing power. Now, I don't know about anybody. I'm not sure if Frank was in the military, but I know we have veterans and things that are listening, so they're familiar with UCMJ and things of that nature. I've been before that court before because I refuse to follow bad orders. I refuse to do the wrong thing just because you say so. But there are so many that will. They will come into your neighborhoods and kill you and your families simply because somebody told them to. And then you all would consider that patriotic. That's not patriotic. This is exactly how the SS took control of Germany. They showed up in Portland, I hear, via the news the other day. His private police. How do we allow that in America? Why doesn't America have a contingency plan for what is happening right now? We go and depose of leaders that simply won't sign checks in other countries that we won't sign. But yet we allow this man to destroy the last stronghold of democracy. America is a great place when great people run it. And yes, we have racism and all these things. But everybody can look and see the progression. Everybody can look. It's I don't care what people say, and if people come, things haven't changed. Stop listening to them because they're lying.
Leonard, and we got a phone line, and we got somebody special actually in the studio with us here this morning as well. So I want to touch on to them as well. But Leonard, how do we get to that place? Because racism is a cancer, and that cancer is running rapid through the system that is America. How do we get rid of the racism?
We have to punish it.
Like, explain that to me.
Every state don't even have a hate crime. It's up to choice. So in some states, it's okay to be discriminatory and hate people, to say nasty things, to commit crimes based on hatred of people because of their creed, color, orientation, and things like that. Every state doesn't even have a law against that. We have to understand that
I think Georgia they don't have what we would like to be a hate bill. But I think just passed something a cousin of the hate bill.
something to that nature.
A third cousin, yeah.
A third cousin.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. It's the approach that we're taking at this time. This is just a rough period. America has always had these periods. But like Anna mentioned, there is a different agenda here that's much bigger than racism.
Well, and that could be true, but at the same time, I think racism is still an ingredient that needs to come out of the pie that is America.
But guess what? They gonna die too.
But see, Leonard, and my thing was a long time ago, and like I said again, I want to pull other people into the conversation, so we're gonna move on. But my thing is this right here. I had this idea in my heart that a lot of the young generation, it's gonna the racism is gonna die with the old folks, with the old heads. When they lay down, it's gonna be over. It's gonna be done with. It's not gonna exist anymore. Then I had a reality where I looked at TV and I saw a lot of young people was out there practicing, was practicing the very thing that I thought was about to leave. They were practicing it, and they were actually practicing racism. And they had and the old good morning, Kirk, and the old folks was out there leading them in that. And
why wouldn't they? I don't expect those people to do nothing more than what they're doing right now. They are racist. That's who they are. Why are you trying to make an excuse for them or try to think that there's something else than what they are?
my point was this though, Leonard. I thought that the young generation, I thought the younger generation got it. I thought they got it.
Well,
And
some of them did.
some of them did, but I saw a lot of them out there. And like I said again, Leonard, let me keep this conversation going because I got a few other people. As a matter of fact, I have two songs. Donald, what is the Trump effect? Good morning, sir. What is the Trump effect on America?
It done drove the country mad.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that. Let me say this. You know, even in does it make sense to say that a people, not necessarily a particular race or creed or color or whatever, take on the characteristics of their leader?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because the United States is showing the character of Trump confused.
Mm-hmm.
We're confused because he don't know how to deal with himself. Because he's madman, just like this country is.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear what Leonard said, and I'm kind of like, Leonard, you know, people been like this. But he's this guy, the Trump effect, is crooked, it's wicked,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't. You see, just like spiritual wickedness, we fight the person and think we're going to defeat the wickedness.
Mm-hmm.
You're never going to do it like that. As long as we fight each other, we'll never accomplish anything. And the true enemy stands back and laughs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, if I lie or do this or do that to you, the real adversary, he just looks back like, you know, like this. You see two people arguing in the middle of the street. You just passing by. You're going to keep moving, but you throw the knife in the center and keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Trump does.
Wow. Good.
Some say he may or may not be racist.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares? He really don't care.
Now hold on. Now hold on.
He has another agenda.
Who say he may not be racist?
What have you been?
Because whoever said he wasn't a racist is a liar.
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
yeah,
You're a racist too.
saying that.
That's crazy.
Listen to what I'm saying. Don't you hear people saying that he's not?
Yes, I've heard that.
I don't hear those people because like I say,
Oh, I know you don't hear them.
I don't hear those people. I don't hear them. Go ahead, Donald.
I know you don't hear them.
Mm-hmm.
But I know you don't hear them. But still in all, the knife is thrown in the middle and let us fight about it.
Mm-hmm.
And he keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
We fighting a battle that that's been fought for years.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to win something that nobody wants to go away.
So am I hearing you say, Donald, that to some degree, people don't want racism to go away?
It's not going to go away. We can forget that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we can marry the children. It's just still not going to go away. You just going to cause another race of people to have problems.
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody in the crowd thinks they're superior to the other.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't change their mind because they tell their children the same thing and they pass that lie on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then here's another lie. Some teach their children that they're inferior or make them act like that.
Mm-hmm.
Why we keep asking, and it's been said before, why are we still asking? I can't get that.
Mm-hmm. We spoke about that.
Asking for what's already yours.
Yeah, we actually spoke about that earlier, dealing with the Tupac clip that we played a couple of days ago. Let me do this. I want to go to our we have in the studio right here. Got in the studio, fella. If we can get him to put his phone down, he might be the concentrate on what we're talking about. Got his phone in. I don't know what he's doing over here. Bishop, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, Bishop in the studio with us this morning, everybody.
Bishop.
Say hello.
Good morning. Good morning.
I knew you was looking to someone.
Morning, big
Yeah,
morning.
Yeah, he over here. Call. I don't know what he's doing over here, man. I have no idea what Bishop doing this morning. Boy. Can't look. But Bishop, what is the Trump effect? What is the Trump effect on America?
Oh, wow. The Trump effect is negative. He demonstrates through his words racial biasness.
Okay.
And I was listening to Donald and listening to Leonard as they began to identify him as a racist. And
do you think he's a racist?
Do I think that he's a racist? You really want my opinion?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Not only is he a racist, I hate to say it in this fashion, but I also think he's an idiot.
An idiot racist.
Yeah.
Okay. Leonard.
The man has a documented record. Go pull it. He was charged and convicted of racist. I think it was in housing.
Yeah.
Yes. It was in housing.
So let's not pretend this man is not racist. So I mean, it's not that we don't have the evidence and we don't know. It's not that. It's that are we willing to do what it takes to change these things? And honestly, I'm not sure how long it's going to take. But a lot of people need to be dealt with. And it's not, and just like they've been dealing with us. The black man wants justice for everybody, not just himself. So this is what we have to really focus on. How bad do we want justice? How bad do our allies want justice? We go to help people when they tend to want justice. Where are our allies? And it's good to see all these people coming together to fight against this machine this way. But even I would express caution because it's not like you have to rush to your death. You can still win. Why just throw yourself as fodder? You know what I'm saying? Why just think that you just want to be trampled underfoot this way? You'd rather sit there and woe is me, and when you can just as easily get in a seat to make rules. When you can participate, when you can come up with coalitions and networking to get people in office who have a progressive agenda. This is not a big deal if we put the effort where it's needed. People, I hate when people think about, well, black on black crime or what. Black on black crime ain't got nothing to do with government right now. You have to be able to separate the two.
Exactly.
What's the difference? COVID, do you know they even said the bubonic plague, a couple cases don't showed up of the bubonic plague. Look at, and then we have to look at them. Ebola has ravaged Africa. Ebola didn't stand a chance here in America.
Exactly. Hold on, let it go. We go on a different direction. I want to pull Kirk into the conversation. Good morning, Kurt. How you doing this morning, sir?
Man, I'm all right. What's up, family? What's going on, Anna?
Man, listen,
ready.
I'm asking the question, man. What is the Trump effect on America? What is the Trump effect on America?
Man, Trump, America has some really, really deep scars that, the truth be told, was never stitched up, and they never healed. All they did was just continue to put Band-Aids on it to cover it up. The Trump effect on America is Trump done tore those Band-Aids off. He has done absolutely nothing to suture those wounds. He hasn't even tried or made the attempt to try to put any kind of iodine on the wounds, he actually took a knife and dug a knife into the wounds even deeper, exposing the wounds that could have been hidden by clothing and or Band-Aid to the rest of the world to see. The Trump effect on America is like Leonard said, where are our allies? Well, the Trump effect on America is showing to those allies that everything that they have been being told to speak against the injustice on the African American and brown community in America was a lie. So now they're being forced to have to choose. Do we want to be a representation of the lie, or do we want to be a representation of justice? And if we don't stand on the right side of history, even when it comes to standing against American government, if we don't stand on the right side of history, we got real revolutionaries where we at. Listen, I'm gonna tell you the truth. When them folk in France and them folk in Russia and them folk in Germany and them folk in Spain and them folk in Italy, when they protest with the intentions of dying. They do not play about that. They will storm the Bastille and drag folk and kill them right there in the street. So what the Trump effect has done is expose not America's dirty little secret, but it has exposed America's vast lies. It has put the Caucasian American brother in a position that now supports the ideology to our allies and to those foreign nations that cannot trust the white man. I'm sorry, I hate to say it.
Well, let me stay right there for a second, and I'm gonna go back to Frank. I want to hear Frank's heart as well. But is this war? Is this situation that we're up against right now, Kurt? Is it really a black man against a white man situation, or is it just a collect group? Because you know just as well as I know that a lot of the movement that we've done, a lot of our Caucasian brothers and sisters have walked hand in hand, side by side with us. So is it really a black or white thing?
No, and that's not what I'm saying.
No, I'll just ask the question for clarity for people that
No, it's not that, because if you think about the nations that I just named, for anybody who's listening, if you think about the nations that I just named that are our allies, are real revolutionaries, most of them were Anglo-Saxon and Caucasian. Britain, Spain, Germany, Russia, Italy. Now, some folks say the Italians, they got our blood. The Spaniards got our blood. But when you think about Germany, Britain, and Italy, Germany, Britain, and Russia, that's our Caucasian brothers. At the end of the day, man, no matter how you want to flip it, the Trump effect is a cancer that has been living in America for 244 years. It is a cancer that has been living in a host for 244 years. It has caused sores on the skin. It has caused death. It has caused bankruptcy. It has everything that a cancer can cause. It has caused it. You understand? It has caused poverty. It has caused, you name it. It has to be removed. It ain't no if. You know what I heard yesterday, Raheem, that blew my mind?
What's that?
And I'm with Leonard on this. Anybody else who say this. sorry. If you believe in this dude, if you believe in the messages that he's spewing and the propaganda, like the real, all it is propaganda. It's propaganda warfare. It's a form of psychological warfare, y'all. It ain't no, you take that dude, I guarantee you, if they sent that dude to prison today or tomorrow, I guarantee you he'll become Big Sugarloo girl. He'll be his girlfriend, man. He's a chump. He ain't no ifs, ands, buts about it. He's a chump. And if you don't believe what I'm saying, look up the Mickey Rourke interview where Mickey Rourke personally address him through the screen and let him know, hey, you ain't gonna be president forever. So, like, at the end of the day, man, this guy is a cancer that has to be cut out, man. If not, this country is going to experience a war that we don't honestly want.
And good deal. Oh, right there, Kurt. We got to keep the thing. Let me go to Frank. What's on your heart? Then we'll come back to Bishop. Bishop, he got some stuff. He jumping up and down in the seat. I don't know what's going on with it. But Frank, what's on your heart, brother?
You know what? The thing that we have to be careful of is being distracted. And I'm going to tell you something, and I want to say this to everybody on this panel. Yes, Donald Trump has shown that he is a racist. But I tell you this, he cares about as much for those people, those poor people in Alabama and Mississippi that are supposed to be his team, as he does black people. All he cares about is money. It's money. He don't care about them.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing, he's using them. He's using racism. He's using those things as a distraction. There has been billions of dollars. Hear me, y'all. Billions of dollars. Families have wealth now that for generations they're going to be able to live on because of all of the money that has been taken from the military, that has been taken from, they give us $600 a few times, but how many millions of dollars went into somebody else's bank account? And the thing that we can't do is we have to watch our consumption of the media because they are paid to make us think a certain way. And I'm man, it's so unfortunate. The one thing about being a racist is that you don't get the one thing that you're cheated of is another perspective. Because the only thing that you will listen to is people that look like you and people that believe like you. So you miss out on a whole nother perspective. So you're ignorant of a lot of things. And that's how you can get used like this. And that's how, when you look at what's on fire right now and all of those southern states that are having problems because they listen to this clown, he could kill less. He wants to kill more. Now he wants to kill our children. How you gonna force my kids to go back to school and threaten to withhold money where your government only gives 10% of what it takes for my kid to go through school? Keep your little 10%. And then man, I hope I don't lose my thought because there was something I wanted to say way before that. Jesus help me. Well, I guess I wasn't supposed to say it, but we got to be careful that we're not distracted, man. We really have to be careful that we're not distracted. God brought it back to me, so I must have supposed to have been able to say it. This is the other thing that we need to look moving forward, that we really need to look at, is we need to pass some bills as far as who's able to take that office as president. How, with the track record like Donald Trump, did you not disqualify yourself for even running for president? Now, any job that you take, they're going to have you fill out an application. And there's certain things that you could have done that you're going to be disqualified. They're going to say, no, you're not a candidate for this job. But with everything that he has done, and even in the middle of his administration and halfway through, he should have been put out. Where's the code of conduct? And that's why I'm going to scream this 100 times. When that cat comes out and he's not going to be reelected, because people finally realize that he's so incompetent that it could cost them their lives. The Republican Party has realized.
Hold on.
that
Are you saying that he's not going to be reelected?
No, he's not going to be reelected because there's too many people going down now. It's not because of any other reason. They got the money that they needed, but the Republican Party's taken such a hit. They can't have him for another 4 terms.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 4 years.
He messing their money up.
Yeah. Then now he's affecting what they do, and it all comes back to money. When you begin to affect, you got jokers in there who are lifelong politicians. He's messing with them. That's why he's not going to be reelected. It has nothing to do with what's right or what's wrong.
Now you're playing.
It's all about money.
Now you're playing with my bread. Hold on. Bishop, what's on your heart, brother?
Man, just listen. I'm gonna go back to something Leonard said. The reason I always refer to Leonard and talk about Leonard's wisdom and knowledge, and he brought up about the bubonic plague resurfacing in 2019. There were about 50,000 cases. So I respect Leonard. I respect whenever he speaks. He's like my E.F. Hutton today.
Oh,
Leonard speaks.
Leonard,
man,
you
come on.
Leonard.
So but
Leonard.
Yeah, Leonard.
Okay,
man. Let me tell you, I'm sitting here looking at Leonard, man, with his shades on. That's my dude. That's cool, Mo B. That's my boy. but we appreciate this topic, and we're talking about the reality of what sits in the White House today, which generates years of oppression for us as blacks, and he's really promoting that, whether you know it or not. And as we were talking, I was doing some research going back to his father in 1927, who was arrested with Klansmen at a rally in Jamaica, Queens, New York, and he was arrested. But they said, well, there's no evidence that he was a Klansman. Well, he was arrested because they were rioting, right? Causing disturbance. So do the math and tell me, if you're arrested out there with those men that are fighting those blacks, you ain't got to wear a sign or put on a pin or have on a hood to say racist. You are what you are, and racism is, some would say, is a disease, but it is a learned behavior. What's being taught, what fathers, grandfathers, and parents are instilling in their children to make them feel like, hey, if you're not this color, you're wrong, you're hellbound, you're of the devil. We need to eradicate them. We need to kill as many as we can, or we need to put them in their place. I heard a white man, and I ain't gonna call no name. He said, go back to where you come from. I was born here in America. How can I go back to America when I'm right here in the same place I was born?
Right here.
So don't come here with your ignorance, saying no ignorant mess like that to me, and make me think you are an intelligent man, because you sound just like what I said. As opposed to calling somebody a fool, you sound like an idiot. Because the idiot statement made identifies you as such.
Well, we can't get you in the studio, boy. You act up when you come in the studio.
Man, please. Man, I'm sitting over here, man. You got me talking about me jumping, man. You calling everybody?
Look at it, man. Look at
I
it.
gotta jump like I gotta use the bathroom, raise my hand. Come on, let me say something.
Look at him, man. Look at him. We bring you in the studio. See how you act up?
Bruh, it's an honor to be here. Why are you so far away from me?
Man, look at Corona 6 8 bro. Corona, man. Ain't no
You're my boy, man. We ought to be sitting next to each other.
Give me some elbow dap from across the room.
Hold a hand, going kumbaya.
Corona,
Man, going on over there.
As a matter of fact, I'm thinking about putting my mask on.
How you sitting over there? How you broadcasting from the couch?
Man, look here. I'm thinking about putting my mask on. Truth be told, Tucson, what's on your heart, brother?
Man, I'm just listening because
let me ask for, hold on a second. Look, okay, I saw something the other day. They had some women, some white, some black. They was in a van with paint in the back of it. The somehow or another, it seemed like the ones that was so much, and they were saying, really? Okay, they wasn't saying Black Lives Matter, they wasn't saying White Lives Matter. They say Jesus Lives Matter. And the black lady got out the van with her paint, and she covered out Black Lives Matter. So, what I'm saying is you can't necessarily call her racist, can you? Because she's black.
Black people can be
what
racist.
I'm saying is,
Black people can be racist.
I already know it. I already know it.
Okay.
Hey, Donald. Hey, Donald, just a tad in. Just a tad in, brother. You might want to listen. You might want to watch that video before she started dumping that paint. You might want to watch the video right before that when she dressed in the red hood. Because when she dressed in that red hood, then you'll find out that what everybody is talking about is correct. She's a paid operative. Somebody paid her to do that, because in the same way she's screaming about Jesus Life Matter, she starts screaming about how she starts screaming statistics from the Republican talking points about how folks was better off doing the civil rights and doing slavery and this, that, and the third, and how there's no massive switch in the parties. And it was just a mess, man. But I get it.
What is a pawn good for?
Oh, a sacrifice. All day. I get it.
Good. But what value is a pawn? What good is a pawn? What's it used for?
Well, it honestly speaking, it depends on the strategy. It depends on the strategy and how you play the game. Because a pawn could in some instances it could be a very valuable piece based on your strategy. Now, if you strategize it right, you can use that pawn to win the game. If you strategically place them in the right place. Now, that's not what happened here. I'm not saying that's what happened here, because it's not, because they're being used as a pawn of sacrifice, because what they're doing is good for nobody. Huh?
It's sure not good for this country.
Absolutely. And so, yeah, I can't see the good in that scenario. Anna, what's on your heart? Anna, we're playing with her hair. Lord, my Jesus, we born her today.
Not that at all. Not that at all. I was just thinking, I kind of zoned out. But I was, I had a question that I was thinking about, and this has crossed my mind, especially recently. I've been watching, since I wasn't feeling too well, I've actually been watching the documentary on, and I don't know if I say it right because of my Spanish accent, Epstein. Is that correctly how you pronounce it? Epstein?
Epstein. Yeah,
okay.
People say it's okay.
Okay.
We know who you're talking about.
Okay. So this man supposedly committed suicide while in jail. This man was somehow involved with our commander-in-chief and other ex-commander-in-chiefs. Y'all can look at the documentary or whatever, or I'm sure you guys have seen the posts online. Do you guys really think, because I think that's part of the problem, people like this, I mean, there was, again, which goes right back to what I'm saying, and I don't think people understand the severity of it. There was actually sex trafficking going on with young girls. These are lifestyles of the rich and famous, politicians, rich people. The current commander-in-chief came out in pictures over there. One of them was his wife, his current wife, and others. You know, I asked myself, did this guy really commit suicide, or was there something else there involved? Because the commander in chief will go to all means to get, and again, these are just my thoughts. The commander in chief will go to any extreme to cover himself, as you guys have seen. People have gone to jail for him. So, you know, and I asked myself, and you know, I couldn't help but think about this while I'm listening to you guys talk. With the sex trafficking and all, again, I go to the same thing. What was so important about building this wall? Build the wall, build the wall. And then all of a sudden, all these children are missing. And who knows how many younger women are missing that aren't even reported, which goes right back to the Epstein story of what I'm talking about. How is it that somehow you are affiliated one way or another with different things like this? Does this not make sense to anybody? Because I'm very logical and I look at things from a logical perspective. I try not to get my impulse in there, even though I do get emotional and I do cry. It just doesn't make sense to me. How is this guy supposed to have been committed suicide? I just don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? So anyhow, I was just thinking about that, and I was playing with my hair, but it was because my mind was going on that. My mind was going on that because I was like, I can't believe, like, how can nobody see this? And sometimes I feel like I look at things beyond what other people see, such as Leonard was talking about diseases that are in other places, but you know, may not come here, but will come here in another form. And people just tend to just ignore this. And I'm like, I mean, do we miss this somehow? Are we ignoring this? Do we not look at what consequences can be? Do we not know the importance of getting up and voting, even if it's rigged? And I'll tell you guys, a year ago today, I was looking at my memories on Facebook just a little while ago. The governor of Puerto Rico was asking for an apology from Puerto Rico for their group chat that they did on WhatsApp, asking for an apology. Like I've always said, if we keep doing it in numbers, there's no choice. Kurt mentioned it earlier in other countries, but to overthrow whatever's going on. I don't know what's wrong with our people here in the United States. We don't know how to stick together and keep it going. It'll happen for a week or two, a month, and then we forget it. We're right back at square A.
Absolutely. Leonard, what do you say to that?
In particular, what part?
About us sticking together.
Well, one, you know, saying you're going to stick together and being able to stick together is two different things.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Now, we have a lot of people right now that are out fighting back against the machine right now. Far be it from, I'm not going to say all of them are even interested in Black lives. But what they do see is they see their freedoms and things slowly eroding under this type of leadership.
Mm-hmm.
So what we have to do is to make sure that everybody is trying to do something for a positive, progressive reason. I'm not one of them people that say you got to act like me, you got to love me or whatever, but at least fight against harm. At least defend what this place is supposed to be about.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know some people, well, we wasn't never this and you, but are you now? What are you now? I don't care what you used to be. What are you now? Because if you can't get that straight with me right now, you can't march nowhere with me. Because you are weak. What are you going to do now? It's not about, you know, what happened 100, 400 years ago. It's about the foolishness that's happening right now. And if you get too caught up in the romanticism of history, you will lose your now.
Mm-hmm.
There are advances that could have been made today, but you was too busy worrying about what was then. You got to do something now. What are you setting up for? Those people marched and fought and died for their children's children. You worried about going to the restaurant? You worried about going roller skating, going to the mall? Man, they was kicking doors in, bro. We're fighting with them even before COVID happened. There was a ongoing effort to take away many of to erode civil rights, starting with voting. Then they went, the Supreme Court was already discussing search and seizure. All types of things that the average person sitting around too busy enjoying the leeks and the onions and the singing and the dancing wasn't paying attention to. And then you're sitting there wondering, how can you do this? How can you do this? Read it. That's how they do it. Read it. That's how they with a warrant. You know why you don't know what's going on? Because you got to read it. It's written. You don't read.
Wow. Good. Let's keep this thing going. Bishop, what's on your heart, brother? Dan Frank, come to you. What's on your heart?
I'm just sitting here doing research as my colleagues here, I call them like my colleagues,
yes, sir,
are speaking out. And then I ran up on an article that Ben Carson stated that, the Black Lives Matter movement is a Marxist organization. And I'm just sitting there looking and thinking within myself, what in the world is this man talking about?
You don't even know.
He's not clear himself. And I had a conversation yesterday with a young man about racism, Donald Trump, and talking about Donald Trump's going to get reelected. And I'm like, man, are you out of your mind? Are you not paying attention to what's going on in the world? What this man is doing to America, to the American people? Someone said earlier that he's not even taking care of the people in Alabama, but they want to be staunch supporters of him. Well, if he's so supportive of you, how many more billions of dollars is he sending to Alabama or to some of these states that want to represent and identify the Confederate flag and wear it and raise it and wave it, however they want to do it? How many millions of dollars are you sending there when they living in shacks and shanties trying to live and survive, but they want to go out there and support his presidency because he's saying back in the day we would slap them, we had kicked them, we wouldn't let them sit at the counters, and all that negative stuff that we, particularly as blacks, experienced coming up through the civil rights movement. Man, let's go back before the civil rights movement. As slaves, and what we had to endure, having to whip crap to cause our back because we want to be free, because we're trying to run away so we can have our freedom, because I'm tired of you putting that whip across my back. Then when we got free, then they still kept us in slavery, talking about, you can rent here.
Are you preaching, preacher?
No, I'm just talking.
Okay, go ahead.
And I say, and the Lord said.
Oh, okay. I just want to understand. That's all, brother.
I just want people to listen. I want people to really have an open mind to the conversation. I hear Anna say a lot of time, because she is not altogether black. She is, of the Hispanic race. So she's brown.
Black. She black.
She's still my sister.
There you go.
She is my sister. But she points those things out as well. What they experience. And I'm just not going to talk about blacks. I'm talking about any nationality that is white who experienced oppression, who is set back. My heart is always bleeding for the Indians out there on the reservation. How they don't even get the same care for the coronavirus.
Come on.
Look how many people died out there on the Indian reservation.
They don't care.
They don't care.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to say this, and I'll back up Donald. Jesus' life, Jesus matters. And when we got him in our life and we're really dedicated to him, then the people matter to us. And the Black Lives Movement is a movement that fights for justice for us as a race. But all lives matter. But we're focusing on what we're going through, what we're experiencing. So, I'm not going to keep talking, because you can start typing somebody and you ignoring me.
Now, I'm listening to everything you're saying, brother.
Okay, what did I just say?
What you're saying is Black Lives Matter. Okay. I tell you, man, look here. Hey, I'm always prepared, brother. I'm always prepared. Frank, what's on your heart, brother?
Don't you ever call me the thug from Detroit with that gangster move you just pulled.
I'm saying.
Oh boy.
What I just say? Black Lives Matter. Go ahead.
I want to talk about something that you guys might not think that applies, But I want you to consider fasting. And a lot of us have we have the wrong understanding of fasting. And fasting, just to break it down, it really is just to bring your flesh up under submission. That stronghold that your flesh has over you, it allows you to recognize some things that you may be struggling with, and to bring them under submission. Now, why do I bring that up? You said, can we stick together? And the thing that fasting will show us is how we struggle in being consistent and prioritizing and staying focused. And I love when I fast. It shows me when it shows me where I'm weak. And I always, and man, it's, you know, a lot of people say, okay, well, I'm not going to eat for, you know, a week or whatever. And they do it so grudgingly. No. Take something away that's going to cost you something. Take something away that you know is going to be tough. Take that thing away. And then when you begin to suffer, then you're going to grow. And then if we would really practice this, if we would practice denying ourselves, we would be stronger when it came time for battle. Because we would have brought our flesh up under submission. We will have toughened our skin. We will have learned to stand together and to be together. We will have learned to suffer. But we're in a place where we always want to be comfortable. We always, and it's just like you take a joke in the gym. Man, I want to be cut, and I want to put on some muscle, and I want to do this. Yeah, but you don't want to work out. You don't want to change your diet. You don't want to get sleep, because all of your gains is not in the tearing down, but it's when you rest, you're going to experience the bulk of your gains. So you want to stay up all night. So you're not going to see the gains that you should. There's things that we need to put in place in order for us. And the one thing, oh, thank you, Lord, is discipline. Without discipline, we're never going to see the things that we want to see. We have to have discipline. And inside of discipline is obedience.
Good deal. Good deal. Let me do this. Let me go to Rico. Rico, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Hey, how y'all doing, man? I'm here. I can't complain. How's everybody doing?
Good morning, fam.
Well, good. Look here, I'm asking the question, man. What is the Trump effect on America? What is the Trump effect on America? Rico, what do you say to that?
I don't know if it's the Trump effect on America, or if it's just a sign of America's degradation in the past that proves that how Trump got in the office, that it's really already been here. I don't think he's doing anything more than exposing the underbelly of the true side of America. And that's the reason why he has people in Congress, lifelong politicians, I think I heard somebody say earlier, that has jumped ship and actually started agreeing with him. Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell wasn't agreeing with anything Trump had to do with when he first started running. Every Republican, Ted Cruz, even the guys that were running, they were against Trump. All of them, they were in unison bashing him. But the more he picked up momentum, the more they started gravitating toward accepting him, because they wanted to go with the winner, or they wanted to go with what is popular. So they really proved the American trend of it doesn't matter about the character of who's winning. It's just you just go with who's ever winning, whether it's the rebellious one or maybe it's the psychotic one. Kanye West had supporters. I noticed the other day on that speech that he did when he was going crazy and doing all that crying and talking about Kim aborting his baby, he had a few sisters in the background. Yeah. And I'm like, man, ain't nothing to support with that. That fool crazy.
Yeah.
Everything he up there saying is out of this world, and he got people actually going groupies. What it boiled down to. But see, when you got leaders that become groupies, we got a problem. So I know Trump is the problem, but Trump is just a representation of what's been going on for the last 12 years, and just people been hiding it and disguising it.
Okay, Rico, how do we get past that era in our society?
Me, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think when we get to the point where we realize that we have to stop separating ourselves by groups. Groups as far as colorization, as far as sexuality, and even as far as religion. Because what I'm starting to realize is that in this one situation that we got going on with this skin, that is the most common denominator. Mm-hmm. When you come across people that want to kill you because of your skin color, they don't say, well, I'm going to leave you alone because you're a Christian. I'm going to leave you alone because you're a Muslim. I'm going to leave you alone because you went to that school, or you from this side of town. You just black. And they got an opportunity to do something to you. So I think we have to get in our society to the point where we start finding a way to just unite for that one cause and stop finding so many reasons to debate because we don't agree with these other philosophies. Like, I read from other philosophies. I read Marcus Garvey's book, Aloud to the Public, and now I'm on Elijah Muhammad. I'm not Christian, neither am I Muslim, but I know both of them have such pertinent information that we could take and utilize that I refuse to just associate myself with one or the other because I might miss out on something I need to know or something that I need to learn about dealing with the tricksters that run this country. And some of us don't understand the word trickology. You know, they don't understand that the game is chess and we're still playing checkers, but we'll play chess amongst each other. So it's just like getting that understanding and breaking down how it really operates, you know, getting us to understand that regardless of what affiliations we have or what organizations we belong to, we still got to relate to each other on one accord because there's only one thing that matters most important.
Mm-hmm. Rico, I'm gonna ask you this one question. I'm gonna go to Kurt, and after Kurt, I'm going back to Bishop. In this day and time, Martin Luther King, he left us in, if I'm not mistaken, 1968. He had a dream. Have that dream slightly turned to a nightmare in this day and time?
It was turning into a nightmare before he died. He said it. He said it. You know, he was actually starting to talk a little different. A lot of people realize that that's another thing with our history. Like I was saying, we really don't, we're not informed the way we should be. We buy the story that the people that killed him want to sell us now, not realizing that before he died, he started talking a little Malcolm X. Mm-hmm. And so some of us are still on the early DOS of Martin Luther King. You know what I'm saying? Just keep praying. Some of us are still stuck on that, not realizing in the back of his mind, he started thinking, you know what? We might have to start fighting these dogs.
I've led my people to the slaughter.
Exactly. So if he knew it before then, and they got rid of him before he could go ahead and tell everybody, hey man, I've been misinforming y'all a little bit. Mm-hmm. We still following along with the message that he was starting to get away from. So yeah, it is a nightmare because he was beginning to see it before he died. He just didn't get a chance to change up.
Exactly. Kurt, what's on your heart, brother? I got you. Go ahead.
What do you mean? What's on my heart?
What's on your heart, brother? We talked about our king and his change of heart, and Rico brought to the conversation. I feel as though I've led my people. I've been leading my people to the slaughter. Had Martin begin to have a change of heart? Say it again.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Absolutely. You got to understand something, that when you really bring that into the fold, right? In all reality, he was the last one to die. In all reality, he was the last official leader to die.
Qualify that for me, brother. What do you mean? Explain it.
Although Robert Kennedy died after him, mm-hmm. Robert Kennedy had not become the official leader yet. So that was the leader before the leader get there. But when you look at all those who died, Meg Evers, Malcolm X, JFK. There's a few others that you can name in there. All of them were leaders in their own right, and they were all killed. What you did was you didn't kill a snake at the head. You killed the snake at the head, then you chopped the body up in pieces. Medgar Evers was basically the leader that everybody looked to on the ground level, on the grassroots level. You see what I'm saying? The civil rights movement, realistically, it did what it was supposed to do for civil rights. But that ain't what really made folk wake up. What made folk wake up was those grassroots movements. When those people went out, when those black folk and white folk went out there and laid down on them airport runways, the way they couldn't land no planes. On a grassroots level, people marched to the airport and laid down on the runways. So now you got planes in the sky and you can't land them on the ground because these protesters are saying, look, if you don't give us what we asking for, guess what? We're gonna lay here and you ain't gonna be able to lay no plane. You ain't gonna be able to land on these planes. They're gonna start falling out the sky. So Medgar Evers was the grassroots. That was the ground floor of a movement. Then you had King.
Let me ask you this question, Kurt, and not to disqualify anybody, but I want to hear your heart on it. You say he was the last one to die. What do you think about Jesse, Sharpton, Abernathy, and people that marched with him? You give them no credit at all towards
the Treacherous Six? No, I don't give them no credit because they ain't did nothing after the man died. Let's just keep it real. Let's call us by the name. Don't start, man. Don't do that, man. Because I'm
the question asker, brother. I'm the question
asker. Because they brothers. I'm gonna take the choice to remain silent because I don't want to speak against. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna do it no more. I'm not gonna speak against my black people no more. What I'm gonna say is this: Malcolm X called them the Treacherous Six for a reason. That's not to discredit anything they done. Whatever they felt like they did that was justified and that needed to be done for the community as a whole. Big ups. But now I don't even want to have that conversation, brother, because I'm stepping away from that. I am not speaking badly against my brothers no more. That is far from my mouth now. I'm not doing it because, and here's why I'm not doing it, Raheem. I'm gonna keep it real with you. What if I said to you that the stereotype that the world thinks of the African-American male is straight from the African-American male's mouth? What if I said to you that during the chess game, if I can lure you into making the moves that I want you to make, then I can also make you believe that I just beat you, that I aid you in beating yourself? What if I said to you that I'm not going to do that because I know that somewhere, somehow, in some kind of way, somebody is listening and they're going to take what I'm saying as a African-American male and say, you see, I told you how to feel. Okay. So they're gonna take what I'm saying. If I speak badly against one of my brothers, if I speak badly against Rico and Leonard, they're gonna take what I just said, and I could not be speaking badly. I could just be giving them some advice. But they're gonna take what I said as truth as to we all act or believe that. So I'm not doing that no more. I'm not speaking badly about my people no more. I'm not doing it.
Good deal. Bishop, what's on your heart?
Just listening to Kirk, and I'm gonna give him kudos, and I appreciate him being forthwith, honest, and straight up. Then also realizing I don't want to come against my own people. Medgar Evers is my homeboy.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'll speak that, and it's a tragic loss when the man lost his life in his own driveway.
Yeah.
His own home. It's ridiculous. But this is what America was, and this is where America is today.
Okay.
We talked about the cause and effect of Trump. And as you were sitting there and letting everybody talk, I figured, let me go up and pull some things. These are some of the 10 effects of Donald Trump's administration. The environmental and the climate.
Pull your mic over just a little bit further.
The environment and the climate crisis. And when he gutted the Environmental Protection Agency, forced out and muzzled scientists, the judiciary, wherewith he appointed 185 judges, and he staggered the remolding of the federal judiciary, wherewith in the 8 years Obama served, he only appointed 55. This man appointed 185, and they can be there for decades. The abortion, how he forced doctors to re-implement the episodic pregnancies, and without consideration to anything, healthcare. He has really, attempted to dismantle and roll back, the Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, known as Obamacare, immigrations, voting rights, the justice system. It is so many different things. I'm just looking at what this man has done. Poverty and social welfare, the education, what he has done, how he has affected that. Wherewith there's a $1.6 trillion in student loans, where these colleges and universities overcharge these students, and they were supposed to receive a refund, but under his administration and his cohorts refused to give these young men and women, particularly those who are of color, their refunds back. So you want to talk about reappointing this man or re-electing this man, and you don't see all the negative things he has done.
Come on.
This is just a small list. Don't make me pull out the long list.
So
let's not worry about. And I want to give honor. I really do. I want to give honor to all those who fought during the civil rights movement, whether they lost their lives during the movement, black and white. I understand that, John Lewis, we lost him, we lost C.T. Vivian, who John then got into politics where he could really control what can really benefit us as blacks. He never abandoned the movement, but he got smart enough. Let me be a part of a system that can help redirect some of the issues that we're facing. C.T. Vivian from the pulpit, from his struggle and fight, Joseph Lowry, all of these men, they began to come with a different mindset, a different tactic. I'm not mad at them for not getting out that market and getting hit upside the head with bricks or having the dog sit on them. They're still there. When I got into politics, Hosea Williams was the one who told me, say, Greg, man, you need to get into politics. That was in 1986. And years later, I then became a politician. All because of my stance, my voice. I fight for the people. I fought for the people, and we'll fight today. That's why DKM Media Group is so important to the world. And we urge you, everybody that calls in, to tell your mama, your daddy, your brother, your cousin, your friend, your neighbor, your church member. Tell everybody about DKM Media and tell them they can also support this, because this is a ministry. They can support this ministry. We take funds, we take donations. We do. Let's give to this so we can stay on the air and put out this information. Fox News started small, ABC started small, NBC started small. Now look at them, large conglomerates.
Come on.
We're giving real news. We allow you, our listeners, to call in and voice. I bet you can't do that on WSB.
Come on now. Boy, you saying something. Look here. Man, look here. Are you preaching?
Well,
okay. Oh Lord, don't change, bro. No. Where the mic at? Turn the mic off.
Hey, Leonard.
I'm gonna go to Leonard myself.
Leonard, this dude talking. Did you see his TikTok?
You know he go insane on them TikToks.
Man, he called me yesterday.
Don't do it, Leonard. Hold on. I'll turn the mic off. It's off. Okay. The mic is off. Mic is turned off. Mic is off, brother. They can't hear nothing you're saying right now at this moment. Oh, he gonna hit my mic. Lord, my Jesus. Rico, what man? What do you do, Rico? What do you do, brother? What do you do?
I really agree with everything the pastor said. And I agree with what Kurt said. I used to always wonder what happened with the movement. I saw the motivation that Martin Luther King Jr. had going. And I always looked at the bigger picture, but sometimes I wouldn't put everything together. But then I started looking at how John F. Kennedy died and Robert Kennedy died. I went to Medgar Evers' home this past August and just looked across the driveway, across the parking lot at where, the man was that shot him, and saw how sinister that was and how calculated it was for him to do that. And I realized that at first I was like sort of mad at Jesse and Abernathy them. I was like, man, them some sorry joker, man. They just let the momentum die. They supposed to kept on going. But then I realized that sooner or later they thought about it. They didn't have the right pieces in place to fight this person that wrote the rules but didn't mind breaking them. I mean that they built the ideal of this country based off of God. They built it off of law and order, equality, but they would break those rules in a heartbeat from here to across the world, and they did it historically before they even got here. They did it. When they got here, they did it. They broke all laws of morality, taking this land and killing the Indians. They went to the Taino Islands. What Columbus did, he broke all laws of morality. And 400 or 500 years later, we still have to argue and fight people that want to have statues up that honor these molesters and rapists and pedophiles. So that lets you know the nature of these people. So I feel like those leaders back then sat back and looked at the bigger picture and said, you know what? If we don't have a military and if we ain't got a whole lot of people behind us that's ready to fight because they coming to kill, we might as well go ahead and try to mingle and intertwine with them and see if we can sabotage it from the inside, which that's what you're supposed to do in the art of war or just in human nature, period. If you can't beat them physically, then you go ahead and conform and you sabotage them from the inside. That's the way I would do for survival. I wouldn't completely conform, but I would play the game that they play. And that comes back to playing chess. So I think those leaders back then that backed up, I don't trust them. Don't get me wrong, I don't trust them, and I still don't hold Jesse Jackson and all them up on the higher pedestal. But they took a couple of knots.
Do you trust Jesse? Do you trust Jesse?
I don't trust him completely. I think he's quite arrogant. I don't think he's sincere. I don't think he's the same person with the cameras off as he is when they're on.
Okay.
And that goes a long way with me, you know what I'm saying? I mean, sometimes you could get accustomed to having a platform and feeling yourself, you know, and that's just human nature too. When people get around other people that are doing something major, they start feeling like they're in a better environment. They might start feeling like they're better than people. And I know for a fact that Jesse does do that. You know, when he expects you to know who he is and act a certain way. He's not a modest or humble individual. He feels like he's that guy. But he stopped taking knots upside the head, so he's not that guy to me.
Okay. Leonard, what's on your heart?
Oh, I'm just listening. Most of my comments and opinions are all for a particular purpose. So, I've met a lot of these men and talked with them, and what the thing that they have in common was a love for their people. C.T. Vivian, I mean, this man I can't remember a time I spoke to him where love wasn't the topic. I met Jesse Jackson a couple times. He's still doing his thing that he's been doing. He's been everywhere. You can look at pictures so far in the back and look at Africa and see Jesse standing right back there behind them people. So, these people been involved for a very long time. One thing they do one thing that's important. They know what's going on. You can't stand out here making assumptions. They're gatekeepers. They are in a particular position to do what they do. They had to get to that point to be able to do what they do. And so people don't really understand. I mean, say, for instance, my degree is from Andrew Young School of Policy Studies.
Leonard, let me ask you this question before we go past this. You say they're gatekeepers.
Yes.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a two-edged sword. Because there are certain people that have alliances with one another that go far beyond the color of skin in government. And so we have to realize that this is a strategy in the system, in the game. You don't win it unless you play it. And so these men, think about it. You can't jump from slave to all of a sudden Andrew Young. Think about it. These people have accomplished things because they worked at them. It takes 40 and 50 years to get to where they are. I remember Reverend Laurie used to say.
Let me ask you, do you think a lot of times, you say it takes 40 or 50 years to get to where they are, do you think a lot of times people that started give up too quickly?
No, what do you expect? Look how old those people are. No. Your behind ought to be doing something by now.
No. I understand what I'm saying is this. Not them. I'm not talking about them because they put in the work. I'm talking about the new people that come along the new people that come along and they say, well, we're gonna pick up the mantle and we're gonna run with it. Do you think they find out everything that it entails? And because of the fact that everything that entails, the amount of work that has to be put into making this thing work, they give up too quickly.
Negroes lose looking for leaders. That's the problem. What is that all about anyway? You still looking to a man that's dead.
Looking for leaders or disqualifying.
I mean, I don't understand why you looking for a leader. You're responsible for doing what you need to do. We can come together on causes, but you should be leading your life. You should be leading your family. You should be leading your children. You shouldn't be looking for some other Negro to be leading you nowhere. But these people went and got these positions to make changes in their environment. That's what you need to do.
Yeah, okay, and that takes me back, and we got another caller. We're gonna go to Anna, then I'm gonna go to my caller. But that takes me back. I think, and this is just me talking. I could be wrong before. I might be wrong one more time before I die. But I think that a lot of times people give up. They get into the fight and they get in with the right reasons, with the right intentions, but they realize the amount of struggle that goes into it, and sometimes they give up a little too fast. Rico, I see you shaking your head, brother.
They fail. They just fail.
No.
I've watched them fail.
Well, my thing is this right here, Leonard. In order to be successful, you got to be able to endure those failures, those things that don't work in your favor. You have to go through those bumps and bruises in order to get to where you got to go to. Anybody that have been super successful in life, they could tell you about all the failures that they had to endure.
But they were doing it. Why? Because they felt they had a personal responsibility to do such.
Okay, but my thing was I had a little slight situation with the term they failed. I don't agree with that. Like I said, what you have to do is and Frank said this all the time: eat the meat and spit out the bone. Eat the meat, spit out the bone. Take the good from the experience that you had, and use that good and what did not work, throw it to the wayside, because you can't carry that with you and continue on what you're trying to do. I think a lot of times people give up too quickly. Anna, what's on your heart?
I understand what Leonard is saying, and I understand what you're saying. But on our personal chat, I did mention great leaders. And Raheen, you're kind of leaning towards what I'm saying, or what I have said. It takes great leaders. We don't have to look for anybody. A great leader is just going to stand out. A great person is just going to stand out. With that being said, I don't think people give up. You have to be on nearly perfectionist to get where you need to get. I will never take no as an answer. That's just not me. I'm going to succeed at anything I do because I'm going to make sure that everything is covered. I'm not everybody else though. And I will say something that maybe a lot of you guys don't know, but I have spoken to a few, I'll say prisoners and or their family who have actually reached out and told me, and this happened during the elections. I bet a lot of you guys didn't know this. They were actually used as people who were voting and were voting for the person in office. And they can't vote. There's only 2 states, and I believe, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's Vermont and Maine. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That I hear an echo from somebody. I'm sorry. It's just, I really hear it. But with that being said, so if there's all of this going on, how do you guys expect change? It's not going to happen if things are not being done correctly. Who's going to overlook that? That's when you have human justice organizations or somebody like Rico, who I know is an activist and will stick up for whatever on his own. He doesn't need anybody to tell him. He's a natural leader. Leonard is a natural leader. You in your own way, Raheen, are a natural leader. You're doing what you have to do through the radio station. I do what I do. And then I make sure that when I do it and I close whatever I'm closing on any case, it is done successfully and it is done correctly. Okay. With that being said, somebody needs to overlook why they're using prisoners who are not allowed to vote, why they're using their Social Security numbers to be able to vote, why they're using an old address to be able to vote when these people were not able to vote. And this has everything to do with the person, the commander-in-chief. You guys look into it because there was actually investigations done on this. Why is nobody talking about this?
That's good. That's good.
See what I'm saying? So these are things that I care about that maybe to other people they're like, she sounds crazy. But no, I don't sound crazy because I'm talking about things that matter, that things that people should look at and things that people should care about. And when you're hearing this from people who are actually incarcerated right now, it does make a difference because they may do it again this election. And that might be how that person might win again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We got another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Cassandra.
Good morning, Cassandra. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Cassandra, I need to ask you a question, and I want to hear your whole heart on this, okay? What is the Trump effect on America?
Oh boy. Can I use the curse words first and then I say something else?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
I love it.
I felt like when you called his name, I wanted to say one, but I didn't. But no, this man has had a devastating effect on this country. And leadership does count because what he is doing and what he has done more damage to everybody, whether you black, white, Hispanic, gay, it doesn't matter. Because the negativity, first of all, the atmosphere of the country is now one that is extremely negative. I am 61. I have never felt such racial tension. Even in the 60s when I was a little girl, I didn't feel, I don't want to say scared, but concerned like I am today. And that's saying a lot for me. That's saying a lot for me. So I think the country, I believe that is what he was meant to do, and he continues to do it. And I promise you, if this man does not win, and I don't believe he's going to win, he is going to literally try to put this country in a race war. Check my word.
I believe that as well. And they got to drag him out the White House. He ain't gonna go willingly. They got to drag his behind out the White House. Donald,
absolutely.
Yeah, they got to get him up there and handcuff him, probably all kind of stuff to get him out because he's not gonna want to go. Or he might try to tear it up. You know, he got that destructive personality about himself too. Donald, what's on your heart, brother? Frank, coming to you next.
He's a madman. He's a madman. A nut, though. And see, I don't know. Man, I just listen.
Did you say he's a nut?
I've seen what you've done before. He's a nut. And then I don't blame him because he's not pulling the strings. See, this thing started in the last administration to see the reaction. Now we did the complete opposite and got the other side to see the reaction. If that makes sense, because this guy here, he don't have a clue.
Yeah.
He's not. He don't know nothing about running, nothing. Because and he made a lot of money doing it. Even his businesses that he had, they go bankrupt and still survive. And everybody that's supposed to be paid didn't get paid. And it's their fault. You know, he's a nut. He's a lunatic. But whoever is behind the scenes pulling the strings is loving it because they're like, okay, I just want to see what you're going to do. And see, we've done this before. We've done it before years ago Now we're doing it again. And, you know, hey, some people have the attitude, I'm not doing that no more. I'm not marching. I'm not doing none of that. So anyway, I'm just listening.
Good deal.
I'm just listening.
Frank, what's on your heart? Then Rico coming to you next. Frank, what's on your heart?
You know, I want to go all the way back to President Bond, where he caught himself and said, no, I'm not going to do that. Scripture says only a fool utters his whole mind. I have 4 boys and 1 girl. The one thing that I teach my 4 boys is that if you're somewhere and your brother is 100% wrong, but is in danger, your responsibility is to get him out of danger. Get him home, get him to me or your mother. Then we'll deal with his behavior. I truly believe there's certain things that we are supposed to deal with amongst each other. Not publicly, not, having these debates and battles in public. That's not for everybody. That's not what family does. The other thing I want to say is, you guys were talking about C.T. Vivian. Man, what a powerful brother. And he said something, man, once. He said that the man that knows how to work will always have a job. But the man that knows why will always be his boss. We have to get to the why. We have to get to a place where we're looking at, okay, I saw what just happened. Why did that happen? Who allowed that to happen? Who's behind this? And how does it continue to happen? And that's not asking people that's not going to tell you. Sometimes we ask questions. They're going to tell the truth now? You have to investigate. You have to get involved. You have to do research. You have to stand back and watch. I mean, look, you can tell me a lot, and that's good. You can run your mouth and say a lot, but I'm going to find out a whole lot more about you by just watching your behavior. I'm going to sit back and watch your behind. You can tell me how tough you are. And then, okay, let's let some things happen. And then let's see how you respond when it's time for us to go back to back. That's going to tell me how tough you are. You can tell me how good you are in finances. All I got to do is watch how things go with you with finances. And that's going to tell me if you're really good with finances. Really, as a people, man, we have to begin to look at the whys, and then we have to examine our own why. Why are we doing it?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Rico, what's on your heart?
I was thinking about what you were saying earlier about the new leaders giving up so quickly. And then I think about what Frank just said, and it all sort of ties in together. Not only are we responsible for teaching our younger generations to come consistently things about our Black leaders and our Black people that achieved and that fought for us, that's our responsibility to teach them. But not only is that knowledge supposed to be taught, we're supposed to teach them how to observe. We are supposed to teach them patience. That doesn't come natural. Resilience doesn't come natural. You have to teach people sometimes how to work through the hard pains to get to the end, and sometimes it might take a long time for you to get to that training before you perfect your craft, whether it's boxing, football, whatever it is in life. If it's a job. So I look at that and I realize, okay, our parents and not, inside the home, not just the leaders, but in our community, those people got distracted with more things to do And then on top of that, we live in the culture of convenience. Like what you brought up yesterday, we talked about, convenience. That came up a good bit. So with convenience, people want results fast. So these new leaders that don't get the correct knowledge or training or mentorship from people that's been in the game to get the ins and outs to understand how many times we bumped our heads, how many days it took us to march to Selma. See, they read these stories just like anybody that interprets history, and they just see the words, but they never indulge into the reality of what was going on. So when you hear that somebody says they marched from Montgomery to Selma, because there was people marched from my hometown to Selma. And some people be like, man, them people ain't marched from no Anderson to Selma. That's too long. I'm like, you got to use common sense and understand that maybe they had to take 3 days. Maybe they stopped in hotels on the way. Maybe they took break, but they didn't just go in a day's time and march that far. They had to march in intervals. But if you don't take the time to observe yourself, or didn't nobody teach you to observe and use logic, then you have to go and ask people. So it sort of took me back to, I remember I had a younger cousin. He got passed around in the family because his mom was on crack. And whenever I saw him, I saw that he seemed like he was just off to himself, and he always had questions, but people would ridicule him for not already knowing the answer. Oh, you don't know this, you don't know that, man, you stupid. I'm like, look, man, he's not born knowing this. And I told him, don't ever mind being criticized. Ask. Don't never mind asking questions, because if you don't ask, you won't know. So I remember when he was young, he came up to me and he had some little kindergarten work. It was just a maze that he had to do. And he looked at that maze and he didn't know where to start and where to end. He just looked at it and all he saw was a situation. So I told him, I asked him, I said, look, I said, what are you trying to do? He said, I'm trying to find my way through it. I said, okay, so where's the end? He showed me what the end is. I said, well, look, I said, I went through the same thing you did. I said, so what I found out is once I looked at the beginning and then all of a sudden I just jumped and saw all kind of blocks, I came from the end and worked my way from the back. Sometimes we have to look at the end result and just like Frank said, ask how, ask why. And when you start learning to observe, like I said, something that is taught, that patience to sit back and to look at and observe and figure out the process that got you to this point, then you won't give up so fast. Most of these leaders give up fast because they are of this world, today's world of convenience. This culture of convenience, it covers every department of our existence. Every department. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of people that's gonna dive in and out. We're gonna have a lot of people that's gonna get on this project, then this project over, they're gonna jump on that project, they're gonna run around like a chicken with their head cut off because they don't know what to do. They don't have resilience, they're not dedicated. Dedication has to be taught.
Yeah.
Loyalty has to be taught. Respect has to be taught. So we lack a lot of that because I hate to keep going on and on too. I hate this. But I saw some activists confront one of our politicians down here, a councilman. And the councilman broke down what his job was and told him when they elected him and got him in place, they could come to him with their problems and tell him what's going on. And they jumped down his throat and told him, said, no, we elected you. We put you in office. What we need to come to you and complain about, you in office. And I'm like, they don't get it. He's in office so you can have somebody to come complain to. So you can come and tell what you need to get done. So I knew then they don't understand. They just want the end result. They just want to vote like they did with Obama. We voted. He going to paint the White House black. Now we done. We ain't got to do nothing else. What about the midterm?
It's going to be a party.
It's a party. I showed up. I did it. I was in there. What about the midterm? But now it's Obama's fault that he didn't do nothing. What about the midterm? What about how they were shutting down the government because we didn't put the people in place to make sure we could get the majority so he could do what he needed to do? And that still doesn't they still don't mention that because we don't really know the system in the process. It hasn't been taught right. It hasn't been passed down.
Good deal. Cassandra, what's on your heart? Cassandra? Cassandra going once, Cassandra going twice. Leonard, talk to me, brother. What's on your... Oh, there you go, Cassandra. What's on your heart?
I'm sorry. I was driving and I just pulled into a spot, so I was trying to unmute. I have personally talked to most of the civil rights, the older guys from the civil rights era, because most of them live in Atlanta. C.T. Vivian, Dr. Joseph Lowry, Mr. John Lewis, Mr. Nathan Knight, who I still work with now. And the one thing I can say about them, these men were resilient men. They were willing to die for what they believed in, literally die for what they believed in. They were beaten and they didn't fight back. You understand? Like John Lewis said, good trouble. He went to jail over 40 times. Representative Tyrone Brooks, who I still work with, along with Mr. Nathan Knight, he went to jail over 30 times. These people sacrificed, but they got results. And I think now with the young people, because I now deal with a lot of the young people in different movements, like Black Lives Matter and other movements. These young people now, they will not, I can point blank tell you, these young people are not going to allow themselves to be beaten, and that's not going to happen. So I don't even know, you know, Leonard, I know maybe Leonard could expound on that more, because I know that the young people that I meet from all of the different movements, all of them have said the same thing. We will not do what the civil rights leaders did in the past and allow themselves to be beaten by police. That's not going to happen. So what do we do from here? How do we teach them that, yeah, you just let them, if they're going to arrest you because you're protesting, and they're kicking you, or they put the vicious dogs, like your stupid president said, you know, we'll put out the vicious dogs and use other destructive weapons. I don't know what the hell all of that meant, but tell me, how do we tell these young people that you don't fight back and just go to jail or whatever? Tell me how that happens when they're trying to make change. Anybody? Forrest?
Cassandra, I got that corn over there for you. I got that corn over there for you.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did, Cassandra. Yeah, you did. You dropped one. Yeah, you did. It's a bone. No, Cassandra. Now, hold on. Anna, that's your sister. I'm coming to you, Anna. Did Cassandra drop one on us? Did she drop one? Tell the truth, shame the devil.
Maybe if I
love Cassandra, I'm not turning against her. I love Cassandra.
Anna,
that's my girl.
And
Ask Leonard. I don't know. I'm not getting involved.
I answer the question, Anna. Did she drop one? Did she need to go over there in that corner?
No, what did I say?
Anna,
what did I say?
Anna,
because
she double toothpicks.
I said hell. Oh my God, are you serious?
It's written in the Bible.
Oh, no.
Anna.
Go to the old kid. Go to the kid stuff. That's in the Bible. Okay, but okay.
It is written in the Bible.
Okay.
Look here.
Yeah, I said hell.
Cassandra, we love you. We love you, our sister. We love you.
We love you to death.
Go on over there in that corner for a little bit. We're gonna come and get you in a minute. We're gonna bring some Kool-Aid. We're gonna bring some Kool-Aid with some orange juice. Which one you want? Leonard, what's on your heart, brother? Hold on, Leonard. You're muted, bro. Hold on. You gotta unmute yourself, Leonard.
I'll address what Pastor Green said after something I wanted to mention what Rico said. Rico was exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
When he was talking about one, you don't understand how it works. You just, and this was what he just said was the sentiment of most black people, which is why we're in the position we're in right now. We elected you, so you go do. No, you have to go to him and tell him what to do. Your elected representative. It is your job to stay on his case and keep your foot on his neck as long as he sits in that seat. You do not just elect somebody today and expect him to know what you want for the next 4-6 years. Mm-hmm. That's ridiculous. And this is what has happened. Well, he's a good man. We're going to put him in office and then hope he do something for us. Really? That's how you think this goes? That's not how it goes. You must have an agenda. We go to find out the work that these politicians are doing. We hold them accountable to what they say they're going to do. You can't sit there and hope they come up with what you like today or what you want to eat today. Mm-hmm. That's how you think governance is, how you feel every day. No, it's about establishing rules, laws, and procedures for the best that last. I mean, I don't understand what other people think that you're going to accomplish by hoping and wishing somebody do something. That don't make sense. You have to go down there and give these people what you want done. Because if you don't, all they have is their own agenda. You see how different that is than fighting for what we need? You have to go tell them that. Just because people black don't mean they got your best interest at heart.
Yeah.
So when I really want you to give an example of these people who have failed or given up, because I need to understand that better. But what Pastor Green was talking about, and I like what she says. In all her years, she's been a soldier, man.
Yeah.
She ain't never seen it like this. She does the reenactments and everything of all these things that have occurred during the period of her lifetime. She know what it looks like. Everybody know what it looks like that's been here anytime.
Come on.
You can't sit there and say we wouldn't be in a better position if we didn't have a Democratic president. Because you would either be ignorant or just living into some type of fantasy world. Anybody, even when I'm at meetings, and what bothers me the most and puts me on alert is someone who says, well, being the devil's advocate, you immediately need to leave me, get out of my presence, because I know you about some foolishness.
Yeah.
That you would even sit there and advocate or think about something that way. If it ain't about how we gonna overcome it and strategize to defeat it, why did you bring it up? And see, when you sit with politicians, they fuss and fight just like everybody else.
Yeah.
They said we've been in meetings where somebody said, well, we won't call no names. Hell, why not? We elected them. You tell me that joker in office that said what he said, I guarantee you I'll be on his step today. But you don't even want to say his name.
Okay, now Lynn, I need you to go over there and stand beside Cassandra. Go on over there, stand beside Cassandra.
Well, I guarantee you, me and Cassandra won't be when he come back. All right, then I'll sit over here with Cassandra.
You'll go. You're looking at going on another. Hey, we got another one. We got another one coming on up to you. I'm
gonna always sit with soldiers fighting.
Okay, listen. We got Cassandra in one corner, and we got Lynn in the other corner over there.
Never. I'm always in Cassandra corner.
Keep them separated. They troublemakers. Keep them separated. Bishop, what's on your heart?
But really, I want some examples. Because you can't put that negative energy out there and don't address it. Because I work with people that give everything to the movement. And to sit here and say somebody failed or what have you is probably wrong and incorrect and disrespectful. A lot of people got sick. A lot of people died. A lot of people couldn't keep fighting the fight and couldn't pay their bills. Okay? And young people today are figuring it out right now. When they jumped up in all these leaders' faces a few years back with that, with the stopping the traffic. Well, I can't remember what it was called, but all of these young activists had came on the scene.
Talking about stop and frisk?
No, not stop and frisk. Shut it down, and all these people and all these young people. I said, you know what? At the end of the day, you're gonna need funding too.
Yeah. And Bishop want to know which one of those, Bishop?
What example? What example are you referring to?
Yeah, I'm trying to think, because we just put it out there that some of these leaders failed and all this type. What leaders? Well, who are they leading? I don't understand.
No, that's what we was talking. I know yet. Now that's what we was talking about. When I asked Kirk the question about Abernathy and a couple of the others, I asked about Jesse and Sharpton, because he was saying that it died with King, and I was saying, are you saying that you're not giving them any credit? And that's what he started talking about. I'm not gonna talk bad about my brothers. That's where that came from.
Well, because we was talking the giving up, because those are not examples of people that give up because they're still fighting, and a lot of them fought to their death. I know because I was sitting with them while they was doing it.
What Kurt seemed to say, he said that they haven't done anything since King passed, and that was his stance on that. He said,
do what?
Hey, Kurt, now I can't speak for him, brother. I can't speak for him. Hopefully he'll call back in, or he'll come back in so he can explain exactly what he meant. I can't speak for that, brother, man.
Right, because a lot of people have a vision of what they would like to be, and they cast that on someone else.
Yeah,
appreciate every soldier in front of a fight, fighting for your good, fighting for your interests.
Like I said, we got to have a conversation. Probably have a conversation off air with Kurt to find out exactly what he meant when he made that speech. But like I said, I'm not gonna try to speak for him because I don't know exactly what he meant at that time. I would probably do some injustice even if I tried to. Bishop, what's on your heart?
We appreciate.
Put your mic.
We're so appreciative to all the wonderful comments, and Cassandra, you're good. You know, this is Leonard. I've been put in the corner many times. So
trust me, the corner, all right.
Yeah, the corner is just fine. He's gonna bring you back in, and you didn't say anything wrong. He's just adding a little humor, so you good to go.
We've been on the block. We've been on the block.
Man, Leonard and I just stay in trouble. God bless America.
You just putting me in the corner is like, oh, don't throw me in the briar patch.
Don't you know, man? So the thing about it is, we bring humor to real life issues as well, and that's one of the things I really appreciate about Raheem and the Morning Glow. And there's nothing that anybody says that's offensive as it relates to us. We're having a real conversation, and that's one of the things I really want to compliment everybody's opinion, views, and if you use the word hell, which is not a cuss word.
Hold on, bitch. See, there you go. Now you just want to get in that corner, don't you?
Well, and I got to join my sister and my brother.
Well, look, you been the same.
Come over here, man. Bring some drinks. We out.
Hey, we
frying fish and playing cards and having a good time.
I want the lemonade. Bring my lemonade.
Look here. Look here.
Party.
Rico, I gotta go to Rico. Rico, unmute your phone, brother. I gotta ask you a question.
Hold up, let me finish.
Hold on. I gotta ask Rico because
Cassandra, let's pray for him. He done put me in the corner.
Look here. Rico looking like he want to go in there. He keep looking over in the corner. He look like he want to go in that corner with y'all. I'm just saying now.
Come on, Rico.
Hey, no, I can't do it, man. I'm a newcomer. So I'm gonna let them handle that 3-man tag. NWA and WWE up in here this morning.
Lord, my Jesus, but my thing is, and like Bishop said, I like to talk about serious stuff, but at the same time, we gotta have a good time. We gotta enjoy ourselves, man. We gotta have fun. Anna, what's on your heart?
Not too much. Just
Anna,
I love the panel, and I do, they're just passionate about what they're saying, and I do agree in the sense that Trump has totally messed up this country as a whole, and he's divided it more than ever.
He's destroyed the way that the rest of the world look at America.
I don't. Yes and no, and you know why? Because I believe if somebody else goes into office, they can fix that. A former president, and I like to speak of him with respect. Former President Barack Obama really did some peaceful stuff. I absolutely support who he was. He did some things that he could have done better, some of the things, but overall, he went for peace. And I think that's very important. And he supported that, On the other hand, this guy is a fool. I mean, I believe just recently he was taken out of something that had to do with the United Nations. So I just think if somebody else goes into office, I think, Biden, because he worked together with former President Barack Obama, he may, change some things. But you've got to keep in mind that this guy is sneaky. He'll do anything to keep it where he's at. And he knows, somebody mentioned that he'll cause all this commotion before he gets removed from office. Don't you guys think he's already doing it? I mean, we're not stupid. We're watching what he's doing, and he's already doing it. And if anybody's a fool to think it's not going to get worse, to me, I'm sorry, you should be smarter than that. You're a fool then, because he's going to do it. He's going to attempt it. And this is where the country needs to unite and be like, no, I'm not having it. And actually, the country should have already been doing it. You know, and that's it. And to Cassandra, that's not a bad word. That's in the Bible. So
That's what I'm talking about. Get to this corner with us.
Look at here.
I said it earlier. I'm saying it again.
Where's Bishop Mike at? Let me turn his mic off. Lord Jesus, let's turn his mic off. Rico, what's on your heart, man? Then we're gonna go to the phone line as well. Leonard, you know, we're definitely coming to you, brother.
You know, further I want to clarify when I was saying that about them giving up, or when I commented on them giving up, I was really referring well, it was directed more toward the local, or I ain't gonna say local, newer activists, because I do feel like that all the older activists, Jackson and Abernathy, them, they didn't give up. They just revised what they did. They had to change tactics, because deep down inside, I don't feel like they wanted to die now. They didn't want to die because it's so far you're gonna go, you're probably gonna become a target. So I knew they felt like they probably had to dial it back a little bit and go a different direction, but they didn't give up. Now these new activists, they come out of nowhere and then they disappear. They come out of nowhere, disappear. Those are the ones that I say that don't understand the resilience or know the direct path that it took to get there. They don't understand how they had to keep fighting through the roadblocks when they were hitting those walls or whatever, or even fighting government when the law was in their favor, but judges still ruled against them. So, you know, that's what I was referring to as far as that. And then as far as Trump goes, to be honest with you, I think we sort of got prepared for Trump with Bush too, because he did enough comedy routine himself. You think about it, he had shoes thrown at him whenever he went to other countries. He got up there with black children from Africa and did his little dances, and man, he just said all the wrong words. I mean, he just got up there and he was the first entertainment act. Now Trump, I think I don't say Trump is a lot worse, but I was sort of prepared after seeing Bush do what he did. But
and you know, in Saudi Arabia, what you're talking about in Saudi Arabia, people I don't know if they know or not, but to hit someone with a shoe and to throw your shoe and hit them with your shoe, that's like spitting in the face. That's in that culture, that's the ultimate disrespect, to hit somebody with your shoe. And they took the shoe and they threw it at him. I don't know if it contacted him or not, but for them to throw the shoe at him, that's the ultimate disrespect in that culture. Let
me say this. I agree with Cassandra too, though, that even though that resilience isn't taught, a lot of the times back in the day, you know, they had to have training to learn how to protest. You know, they had to go and train how to take that abuse, so when they went and protested, they'd be prepared for it. That doesn't go on. And so, like Cassandra said, these kids not gonna sit there and let somebody spit in their face. If they look at old videos and see that happening, they already know, well, we ain't gonna do that right there, because they don't want to make that sacrifice. They don't want to give up their comforts. They don't really want to give up their conveniences. They just want the benefits. So they don't want to go through that struggle. They don't want to get spit. They don't want to get hit upside the head. They don't want to risk being the one that gets shot like Martin Luther King. So it's a lot of talk. There's a lot of talk and a lot of wants and wishes, but at the same time, if you're gonna be the one that want it, understand the total process that these people went through to get us here before you criticize them, because some people died knowing they were gonna die. Listen to Martin Luther King's speeches. He wasn't just saying that because it sounded good. He felt like he was gonna die.
Yeah. And the total unfortunate part about it, it wasn't the bullet that killed him. It wasn't the bullet.
It was the doctor.
Yeah, and that's crazy. Cassandra, what's on your heart? Frank, coming to you next.
I definitely agree with everyone that has spoken so far. This is the thing. Let me just give you a situation that I had that shows me that it's about leadership and it's about knowing our rights, right? We really need to know our rights. So I'm doing the Moores Ford Bridge lynching this weekend, right? And so 3 weeks ago, the deputy sheriff, the chief deputy sheriff of Walton County, called me and said that they would not help us with traffic this year, right? So we were like, okay. So it was like he was saying, so y'all not going to do it, right? Because we can't come out, you know, because of COVID. Now, I knew they never get anywhere near us. They're always in their cars or on their motorcycles when they come out, right? So then that didn't work. We said we were going on with the reenactment anyway. So yesterday he calls me and tells me, well, are you guys still having the reenactment this weekend? I said, yes, we are. he said, well, do you know that the governor has done a 50-person mandate that you can't, more than 50 people can't gather?
Wow.
Okay. So I said, he said, so are you guys still going to do the reenactment? I said, yes, sir, we are doing the reenactment. He said, even though the governor says that over 50, I said, sir, we are doing the reenactment, whatever it takes. So you guys have to do whatever you feel like you have to do. So I called, he hung up. I called an attorney friend of mine, and he said, have you looked at the executive order, Cassandra? I said, no, I haven't. He said, pull it up right now and look at it. In the mandate, in the executive order, it said that 50 people cannot, over 50 people can't gather indoors. He knew that we were doing everything outside this year as usual. Everything mostly is done outside. So he was trying to get us to call off the reenactment this weekend strictly because they wanted us to not be there this year.
Wow.
That is why it's so important for us to be there this year, and we will be there. So now, in a little while, I'm going to call him because I called his office a little while ago. He wasn't in yet. I'm going to call him, and he is going to have to explain to me why he's saying we can't do the reenactment this weekend when the order says only people, 50 people and over, indoors.
Indoors, exactly.
That's what the executive order says. But this is why it's important, but knowledge is everything. Knowledge is everything.
Exactly.
Just want to share that.
And my thing is, they just trying to block you. But you know, I'm
the fight
very
continues. But the fight continues.
I'm very confident that you're not going to allow them to block you. I'm very confident.
Oh, absolutely not.
Absolutely. Frank, what's on your heart, brother?
You know, one thing that we have to keep before us, because I think that somebody
I'm trying
like
to
Donald
deposit it. Okay.
can cause us to lose focus, is that politics is corrupt, no matter whether it's Republican or Democratic. It has been corrupted. And if you put your faith in politicians, you're always going to be let down. Always. If you put your faith in man, you're always going to be let down. So we need to continue to put our faith in God. And we need to continue to listen for the direction that God gives us. And we need to do what it is that he's calling us to do. And we can't get all caught up in what we see. You know, what's going on around us. What's that got to do with me? Okay, Lord, if this is what you're telling me to do, this is what I need to be found doing. This is where I need to be. And I can't remember who said it. It was Rico. Rico talked about the maze and how he spoke to the young brother who was who had a challenge as far as how to attack that maze. And he told him, well, to operate, go at this thing from the end and work back to the beginning. Man, that is the perspective all Christians should have. That we have the opportunity to look at everything from victory. Not from where we're at, not from where, you know, people are saying that we're trending, but from a place of victory that we've already won. And we're simply here to try to lead people to Christ in order for them to be able to walk into the promise. So what he told that young man was so biblical. We operate from victory, not from where people want us to operate, not from fear, not from what people are saying, well, this is what's going to happen. Who cares what happens? We win.
Good deal.
At the end of it all, we win.
Absolutely. And go ahead, Preacher Rico. Go ahead, Preacher Rico. I hear you, brother. Oh, he ain't hear that. He ain't hear that. Anna, what's on your heart? You wanted to say something? Preacher Rico.
No, I'm just listening, man. I'm just listening.
Good deal. Good deal. Anna, what's on your heart?
Frank, you couldn't have it said those words more eloquently. I absolutely agree with you 2000%. If we claim it, we see it, we call it, as Christians, we've already won. Whether it was Malcolm X or any of the leaders from the past, they believed in their God, our God. And I always say we can't tell people how to follow their religion, but as long as they follow, what they believe to be true. And I'm not saying anything's right or wrong. I don't want anybody to mistake what I'm saying. And Raheem knows where my heart comes from when it comes to this topic. With that being said, I've said it from the beginning. We go into prayer, we go into fasting, and I'm not saying don't defend yourself, because in the Bible it clearly states to defend yourself. He will arm us with every arm to go ahead and win this battle in more than one way and come out on top. It is all biblical what is supposed to happen. I said it at the beginning and I'll repeat it again. It is all biblical. Be prepared. Arm yourself with the Lord, and I guarantee you're going to win this war, because this is just the beginning. And I say that as a Christian, and I say that as your sister in Christ, and I also say that as somebody who serves in the church as a group pastor. So just remember that.
Good deal. Donald, what's on your heart? And Leonard, coming to you next. Donald, what's on your heart?
I'm just listening, man. This topic we've talked about a lot. I guess you got to know the strategy of your enemy, or if there is an enemy, if you can define him, and then don't kill him all yours. And then resilience. I think I pronounced that word right. I'm gonna look it up when I leave the phone. But just
you gotta look it up, brother.
You can't, just like the situation with Cassandra was talking about. They just want to see what you're gonna do. What they put out is actually a lie to get you to respond to the lie, to see if you're okay. We just won't do it. But they're not really concerned with that. They just wanted to either show them your hand. So a lot of times we reveal our hand. I think Rico got it pretty good, because we start disqualifying certain people that are on the same side. They serve under the same root of the matter, not the surface. I'm talking about like Christianity and Muslim and this and that and the other. But who's the power source? So I can go on and on and on. But don't tell everything. You don't have to tell everything. And one other thing, these young folks, they're on a different playing field, for real. Slap them if you want to.
It'll be like the old fella said.
You better be ready.
Hit me and can't fight, you're gonna be in a world of trouble. Hit me and can't fight, you're gonna be in a world of trouble. I'm gonna tell you now.
You're gonna be a world of trouble. And then if you're in the crowd with them, you better be ready to fight.
That's right. Because a old man said a long time ago, if you hit me and you can't fight, you're gonna be in a world of trouble. Because look at Leonard laughing. Let her know. Hit me and can't fight, you're in a world of trouble. Because I'm gonna tell you, you ain't gonna be able to handle what's next. What's on your heart, Leonard?
Man, I was just laughing because I'm already in the corner, right? Or did I get out? I can't remember. So I'm already there, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure. Well, you know what?
You're trying to shorten your time in that corner, so don't mess up.
Just to let everybody know, you're gonna have to stand up sooner or later, else you're gonna die. One of the two. So if you want to be on the right side, do right things. Support people doing right things. Support people doing good deeds. Support people saying good things, good practice, good lawmaking, who are actually concerned about people. That is the difference. not making an assumption about people, not trying to change their message or whatever. At least listen to what a person has to say. Then hold them accountable to what they say. That's how this thing works. It's not that I'm in love with what everything come out of Rico mouth. We're going to disagree on some things, but that does not mean he would not be a good leader for his community. We just have some things we don't agree on, and we can work to work them out. These are the people you want to elect to office. Those people who are reasonable and rational and do have what's in the best interest of all people at heart. That is completely different than the evil people that have taken advantage of government. I mean, I don't know why people keep saying they're the same or what have you, but like you said before, and that's why I wanted to make sure I was already in the corner before I said what I said. When somebody else tell me, I'm gonna whoop your ass, right? I always, what you think I'm gonna be doing while you whooping my ass?
Exactly.
I'm just spell it, let it. Don't say it. Spell it.
Oh,
what my ass? What you think I'm gonna be doing?
Look, next thing I'll say, I'm gonna whoop your asbestos. next thing I'll say it like that. You know what I mean? Just try to get it. I'm gonna whoop your asbestos.
I mean, really, ask yourself that. That's how you need to face your oppressor. You need to let him know he gonna have pure hell trying to do what he's trying to do.
Hello, you say hello, didn't you?
Yes.
Hello.
So if you don't say so, who you expect to say something? Exactly. If the person that ought to be hollering the loudest is the person being whipped, plain and simple.
Exactly.
How you get out the corner, Cassandra said. How you get out the corner.
Don't hate.
Lord, my Jesus. Listen, we're gonna wrap this thing up, man. It's been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Bishop, bring it together for what you got there. Okay.
My son text. My older boy is listening in DC.
What he say?
And he responded to you. I'm going to whip your asbestos.
That's how you say it. And see, Cassandra, she said, I don't know what the hell are you talking about. See, that's how Cassandra would do it. See, you know, she got to get it in. So see, Rico, I was looking into somebody's on Facebook yesterday, day before yesterday, and they said I don't want to be a leader. I'm not trying to be a leader, but if you put me in that position, then I'm not going to turn it down. I thought that was real powerful, man. Some young man said, I don't know who that was that said that, man, but yeah, it was real powerful. He said, I'm not trying to be a leader or nothing like that, or put in a position of being a leader, but if you nominate me as your leader, I'm not going to turn it down, and I'm going to do the best I can for you. I thought that was powerful. We got something going on with the background. Somebody got some background noise. Where that's coming from?
I thought you did it, Raheem.
No. That wasn't me, brother.
I thought you had pressed your little bomb button or something.
I'm gonna blow up everything. Exactly. But listen, bring us home there, Bishop.
I know we got to get out of here.
Bring your mic over there, man.
I know we got to get out of here. I do appreciate. It's an honor to be able to sit next to you today, man.
Praise God.
I know you weren't expecting me to come.
No, I wasn't expecting you to come on here.
Yeah, but I got up out of my bed.
Here we go. Here we go, y'all. It's like that frog about to get knee deep. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
You know I need my beauty sleep.
Knee deep. Knee deep.
Knee deep. Raheem know I need my beauty sleep. I don't look half as good as he do.
Rico, knee deep.
Really?
Just like that frog. Go ahead, brother. Getting real deep in here.
Really?
Man, look here. It's getting up right around your neck level. You better calm down.
You better be careful, boy. I whoop your asbestos.
I don't know what the hell are you talking about. I'm gonna go ahead.
Oh my God.
Man, I don't know if I need to come back on with you.
I don't know, man. I don't know. No, you
These
act up
are
when you come
your
here.
friends, Anna. These are your friends.
Anna, look, Anna, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. I have no idea.
He already got me because he messed around
I promise to each and every one of you guys. I sincerely love each and every one of you guys, even with your asbestos and your hellos and whatever else. I just didn't expect that this morning. Y'all made me laugh. I got a lot of pain, but it made me feel a little bit better.
Good deal. Good deal. Bring it together.
We seriously, we do appreciate y'all. This is my brother right here. This is my friend. I love this guy. I love DKM Media Group. I love everyone that called in. I love everyone that listened. Those that listen, please feel free to call in. But what's most important for us today, and I'm gonna say it, this broadcast is not free. There's nothing free about what we do. Raheem doesn't generally ask anybody to contribute to DKM Media, but I'm going to make this request known because we want to keep this guy on the radio. We want to keep this program going. So I'm going to ask those that are listening, whether you're near or far, go to our Cash App. It's Cash App, the $, DKM Radio, and donate, whether it be $5, $500, it doesn't matter. It will really go to help allow us to continue to move this broadcast forward. I appreciate great comments from guys like Leonard, Rico, Frank, Kurt, Donald, Cassandra, Anna, Christy, everyone that calls in, those who call in from the political side, the NAACP president of DeKalb County, Teresa Hardy. I just really want to appreciate everyone that calls in and give their opinions, their views, because it really does value. Today's topic was very important, something that we need to pay attention to, especially being an election year. I'm gonna say it. I love my boy Leonard. That's my dog. That's my homie. I go to battle with Leonard any day, every day. I know he got my back. I'm gonna have his.
Right.
Because Sandra said it best. I think Donald said it. These young folks ain't gonna stand back and let you throw them rocks at them, and they not throw one back at you. And I'm not as young as I used to be, but I'm on that same train. Don't throw nothing at me, and then you ain't got to worry about me throwing nothing at you.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna keep it real.
And I'm gonna tell you something. And I pick at Leonard. He knows that's my brother, man. He know I love him, man. But let me see. No, Leonard. No, sir. Leonard talking about going to 11 o'clock. No, sir.
No.
You read the message, man.
Let me see what it say. We ready to
let Bishop talk till 11 o'clock. Okay, that's good, Leonard.
I'm leaving soon. I don't know about the rest of y'all.
It's so funny.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. No. I read it.
Okay.
Yeah. We good.
Good.
But my thing is this right here, and I pick at Leonard all the time. But that's man. Look at here. Me and Leonard going to battle. One or two things can happen. One or two things can happen.
What's gonna happen?
Either we're gonna win or we're gonna die.
Leonard, can I say it?
Yes, sir.
Me, you, and Kurt, we'll bring Rico in because he's just like us. We're gonna be the ones over there fighting, and we're gonna have Leonard holding our weapons for us.
He said Leonard. You.
I mean, we're gonna have Leonard. We're gonna have Raheem.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have Raheem holding the weapons.
Well, that's good, and I'm not gonna complain about that. Y'all need some reinforcements. I'm coming, but somebody got to be able to tell the story. Cassandra.
Okay.
somebody got to hold a camera home.
Exactly.
Somebody. Well, I'm gonna be fighting. So I'm gonna be fighting with the guys. So I'm good.
We know the third pack up in there. Anna, and we're gonna let Anna bring water. You know, y'all get thirsty. We're gonna let Anna bring some water. And listen, we're about to get out of here, man. This is crazy. Y'all just as crazy as y'all want to be, and I love you, man. Look, I won't take nothing for you. Go ahead, Rico. Oh, I thought Rico was about to speak.
I was say we could let Anna hold a camera, but she might turn around and put it on herself. She won't record none of the fight.
Hey, one thing about me is I'm Latina. We don't play. We don't play. But I do love the camera. I do love the camera.
Rico, are you saying that we out there fighting and battle going on, and she turned the camera on so she can put a little
Hey, y'all better leave Anna alone.
Ain't number one truth.
Thank you, Bishop.
Ain't number one truth.
That's how I be defending them, and you see how they come at me. I ain't gonna defend them no more.
Rico, boy, you dug a hole that time, brother.
He did. But can I say this?
I just had to tell a joke. It was down, man.
It's all out of love.
Yeah, absolutely.
But seriously, I love DKM Media Group. And I love the folks that call in every day. Their voices really resonate. And I really appreciate you, Raheem,
praise God,
for this show.
Yes, sir.
But seriously, we're asking for donations to keep this thing going. Cash at DKM Radio. We would love to have your continued support, and make sure you broadcast. Let people know that this broadcast is on the air daily. Lunchtime with Anna, whatever programs we got going on, Pastor Neil, everything. We got so much going on, and we really appreciate those who are willing to contribute to DKM Radio. Thank you so much.
And that let me say this. I didn't ask him to do that, y'all, because y'all know I'm terrible when it comes to asking. Well, I don't ask him about the money, but you know, if it's in your heart, if it's in your heart and you feel as though you want to, you know, that's fine. But I didn't tell him to do that, y'all.
No, he didn't. God did.
Okay. See, he don't say God did. Lord, what did you say after that? He said God told me to say it.
You say amen.
Amen. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Anna, what's going on at 3:00 today?
At 3:00, if you missed this show, you can watch it in its entirety at www.dkmmediagroup.com. We'll watch you then, or you can watch us then.
Okay. DKM Media Group. Anna, you own it. Now, let me see what I'm going to do. Leonard.
Sir.
Pray us out, brother.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you once again for our opportunity to share our lives and experiences as believers with those across this world. We pray especially right now for those who are doing their best to do the right thing, who are helping one another, who are saying to the sick, the shut-in, the disabled, the hurt, the disenfranchised. We ask a special blessing, dear Heavenly Father. You please show up and make sure that we win this fight. We encourage all of those who may be thinking right now about giving them up. Let them know how close they are to the victory, because we know that in the end that their righteousness will win. These and other blessings we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. It's been a great broadcast. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Cassandra.
Yes.
I want to ask you a question. And I don't want to talk to Cassandra right now. I want to talk to the thug pastor. What's on your heart?
Oh Lord. Oh yeah, good. Thank you for coming to me. As I said, this weekend we're holding the Moores Ford Bridge lynching reenactment in Mount Georgia. Yeah. This was my 12th year. I need toilet paper. I do need hand sanitizer, masks, gloves, drinks, waters. I mean, anything anyone can do to get those things to us to help us so that we can have the people that are attending as well as the actors and crew taken care of. We greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good deal. Good deal. Well, it is now 10:16. It is now 10:16. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us, because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug, because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. Leonard, what's going on at 11 o'clock today?
You can join me with Real Talk with New Order National Human Rights Organization today at 11 o'clock on www.dkmmediagroup.com.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You all have a great day, and take an opportunity, if you don't mind doing so, and love somebody. You might get some love in return. Y'all take care.
Woo!